Good evening, everybody. It's time for Thursday night Throwdown, and we have an awesome panel tonight because we have the return of Drew Taylor and our special guest, Demogeni. How are you doing, sir?
Welcome. How you doing, gentlemen? How's everybody in the chat? You're getting a very rare occurrence. I'm using the dark side of the force to stay awake right now. All of my hatred for retail is keeping me awake.
And how are you doing, Drew?
Oh, I'm hanging in there. Most of the community, like we were talking backstage, a lot of the community knows what's going on. A lot of the folks that know me here, some don't. My mom has recently been having episodes of dementia and whatnot, and I've really had to kind of give up on streaming and things like that, and it's like all this stuff happens in bunches, man. I come back from that thing with my spine, and then this thing starts up with my mom, and man, I am just ready for 2020 to be over, guys. But
I think we all are.
But I do just want to say thank you, again, to the best community and chat on YouTube. I mean, you guys are all supportive of the people on this panel. You guys come to all the streams, and you guys are genuine friends to all of us, and take care of the people that are in need in times of in bad times, and you're there. And I can't tell you how much I love and appreciate everyone. Thank you so much for those of you that have reached out, your prayers, your well wishes, and the support that you've sent. It means the world to me. I know it means even more to my mom. So thank you so much.
Welcome, man. You're a pretty awesome dude, Drew, and I'm really sorry that you're going through this shit right now.
Yeah, it's a bad time, man. It's a real bad time. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Definitely sending my positive energy towards you, brother.
Absolutely.
You and your mom.
Yeah, I appreciate you, man. Thank you.
We're also joined by some of the usual suspects. Tom is with us. He's been MIA for 2 weeks now, but he is back. How are you doing, Tom?
Yeah, I've been trying to get used to this new damn schedule, but I think I managed to pull it off tonight. I'll try and hang in there as long as I can. So keep me interested, and maybe I'll stay awake.
Oh, we got a lot.
Look at that jab to the kidney right there.
Well, it's like I asked the one question before. I'm like, is it going to be like this kind of a heavy show, or is it going to be this kind of a show? And he's like,
yeah. No, yeah. I know that we had the debates tonight, but we're not going to.
I actually watched the goddamn thing.
I did too.
In preparation, kind of.
Bro, I didn't. You can tell you something. I am so far removed from politics at this point. Like you know what I did before this? I freaking got myself ready for work, played some Final Fantasy, and I took a quick nap because I'm like, there's no way I would have been it. Because I've been up since like freaking 5 in the morning already. I said, there's no way I could have ran all the way again. So I'm like, you know what? Let me take a quick nap, get a little refreshed, and hop on with you guys. And that's basically like I just look at the highlights, the debates, whatever, and see what people said and what silliness was said, and keep it moving. That's it.
It was pretty entertaining. There's some stuff I thought was pretty funny, and there's stuff I think that they definitely could have nailed Biden on, but they didn't. And the same thing for Trump as well. But last but not least, we have Culture Casino, the man himself, the man who is now monetized.
Culture Jesus.
I am.
Yes.
I am.
I'm very happy.
I made it happen.
I'm very happy that happened for you, bro.
Yeah.
Oh, hey, we just got to get you over the hump, man. You were close.
Yeah, I'm at 396. I checked today. We are definitely on track. We are on track that I could get this done by my birthday. So we get this done, and I got to find some way to get this mic to work right, because last year I did a little concert on my birthday, and I want to do it again. But this time I have an actual better mic, but I don't know how to get it to work properly. So I have never. That's why if you ever watch the Dark Council, I'm always doing acapella, because I can't get the bloody thing to freaking play my music without freaking causing feedback. So that's my.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
That's my homework to do once I get this thing, squared away.
Yeah, I'm always having sound issues. It's terrible, but I'm tonight when I go to bed, and I think everybody out there in the chat should do the same. when you go out there to crash out, put this man's stream on somewhere in your house. Just grind that playlist, man, that live stream that he's got going on, and then crash out. Because that way, when he wakes up a day or two from now, he's got his numbers, and we're good to go.
So you have the subs, just not the watch time yet?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, that's what he needs.
Yeah, I crossed the sub line over the summer, and big shouts to Mary Mayhem and author Stephen Walton. I was actually on her channel, and they gave that final push that got me over the 1,000 that one night. So I gave Mary a shout the last time I was on. I actually was on it with you the other day.
That's right.
Yeah, so yeah,
that's right. Yeah, I did shenanigans is amazing.
Yeah, that was my first shenanigans too. My cherry was broken.
You did good. Well, you did very good, my friend. That's a tough show to break in on at that channel. Yeah. Woo. Yeah, good times, man. It was fun.
What topic do you guys want to start off with? Do you want to start with something light, something humorous? Maybe we have two things that kind of fall on that. What's that?
Something with boobs in it.
It's something with boobs. Hey, I like your style.
Yeah, that'll work.
Hold on. Speaking of boobs, you just made me think of something. Hold on. Let's see where we're at. We have 40. Wow, we have 43 likes already. What do you guys think? Can we get to 75 likes? You think we can get to 75?
I think we can.
Okay, all right.
We'll definitely break 100 at some point over the evening.
Okay, so we're gonna make it easy. So I'm gonna try to stay here until 75. So I need y'all to do this quick for me, everybody in the chat. 75 likes, and I'll change the screensaver. Put on some eye candy for you. I'll do it for you. Do it. Do it now. Do it.
We're at 50 now, so it's 25 more, and you get some hot eye candy.
Yeah.
We're at 52.
Stieg, and we got Wes in the chat. Hey, Stieg.
Oh, Stieg is here.
Yep. What's up?
Wes is here. Oh, there is another man. Okay, so those of you who are not subscribed to Wes Moody, I hate to plug everybody, but I'm gonna do it anyway.
Do it, man.
You gotta subscribe to Wes Moody. He is criminally undersubbed. Tom will even say that out loud. The dude crossed the 400 sub line. He should have like 7,000 or 8,000 subs by now. He's been doing it forever. YouTube monetized him once and took it away because they changed the rules on that dude.
Oh, God damn, I hate that.
But this is going back a ways. But I'm telling you right now, Wes makes some of the best content in the world, and he is shadow banned, or not even shadow banned. He's just like, they ignore his ass because he does this show that he's now moved to its own channel called Conspiracy or Conspiracy. And you know how much YouTube loves conspiracy. Yeah, but anyway, he's a lot of fun. I get to hang out with him 2 or 3 times a week, and he's an amazing dude. So check out his channel, man. Just give him some love because he's totally worth it. Everything he does is great. Anyway, that's all I gotta say.
Okay.
Sorry.
Awesome. No, it's all good. I was gonna say awesome. Wes Moody is a cool dude. Please go and sub to his channel.
Yeah, absolutely. Wes is good.
So 66 Starship Aliens is like, yeah, not for me. I'm out. Sorry, girl. I don't know what we're gonna have up. I don't think it's gonna be anything too bad. So you're fine. Let's see here. Let's talk about the Animaniacs. That's the Animaniacs are coming back. Let me see if I can go find that tweet I sent out.
Oh, Moira's in the house. Hey, Moira Kitty.
So I don't know if anyone has actually seen this yet, and I should probably close my chat.
Yep.
Hi, chat.
Let me make sure. Oh, you know what? Fuck me running. Okay. Something I forgot to do, folks. You all know what it is.
You forgot to put the sound on.
I forgot to put yeah.
I do it all the time. I feel bad.
Yeah.
It's time for anime.
I think we all do that every time we
Every stream.
Every single
Did you see the first time I hosted the Dark Council? Man, they roasted me so bad. I had the freaking screen on. I was like, not putting the sound. I'm like, bro, y'all need. I was like, I hate you all.
at least you didn't like have your email pulled up and
yeah. See, I almost did that by accident, and good thing Lil Callis said, "Yo, you play." I'm like, "Oh snap!" Because I almost because I was in the stream elements, and I almost went into the link. He said, "Yo, you got the stream elements." I was like, "Oh snap! Let me get out of there." So, yeah, I had a boomer moment. Yes, I did. Boomer moment for real.
Hey, that's okay, Damaj and I. It's funny, like every time, like because I know that you've seen our Wednesday Bounding into Comics live streams. So my boss John Trent, like he has this habit of like when he pulls something up, he's got probably about 50 different tabs open, and we always give him a hard time.
That's why I don't share like my entire browser, is because of that reason. By the way, for those of you who watched my last video, yes, this is the glass I was banging against my head last night. I actually still have a spot that's sore on my forehead. I ended up doing 2 takes because one wasn't long enough, and I ended up doing it. And I swear to God, it had been for like 30 seconds. I was like, this is beginning to hurt. I really need to stop.
Yeah, that you might want to stop doing that. Yeah, and that's one thing that I always make sure when I'm doing live streams, that I make sure I don't have any of my science tabs open, because we don't want to have any of that stuff happening.
Science, indeed.
Yeah, I'm a connoisseur of science.
Yes, everybody should be a connoisseur of science. So has everyone watched the trailer so far?
Yes, I saw it.
I saw it. I thought it was pretty cool.
Yeah. I didn't know. I don't know if they're poking fun at the wokeness out there, or they going in it. I don't know, because
that's the thing I'm concerned about. But let's watch it. I mean, I thought it was funny, and I thought it was actually pretty well done. And I'm definitely somebody who is like, if you make fun of people on both sides, I don't have a problem with it. I don't have a problem with you making fun of Trump, as long as it's actually funny, you know? If it's like lame and cringy, it's like, come on, it's bad. But
it didn't look like they were doing that per se, but it looked like they did touch on a couple of the things that will be touched on. But I won't spoil it. Let's just watch it.
All right, let's watch it.
Hello. Reboots are symptomatic of a fundamental lack of originality in Hollywood.
Have you no shame?
Here's your check for the Animaniacs reboot, you sellouts.
It's time for Animaniacs. You should see our new contracts.
All right, guys, there's a lot of pressure on our first lines. Wait, don't. Make sure it's good first. Maybe something reminiscent of the first season?
22 years later, and I'm still a knockout.
Okay, I want to pause it right there, because I knew they were going to lead into something with that. But it was still done in classic Animaniacs fashion, I think. Everything I saw, I didn't think was out of character. So I don't know what you guys
and Dot is
thought.
my little sister's favorite character. So when I saw
all three of them is the best.
Yeah, she's so happy.
Yeah.
Side note: if anybody's ever watching my chat, you see a Dot avatar. That's my sister. So behave.
Well, the thing is, they were always doing stuff like that. The Dot in the original series too. So,
yes.
But being that's 2020.
I've tried online dating, but I keep getting catfished. How do I know she's even real?
This tablet contains the sum of all human knowledge.
All human knowledge in one easy-to-swallow tablet? Quantum mechanics, quinoa wraps, Queen Bey. We've missed so much. Oh, sounds like an odyssey.
My sandwich! Just where I left it. Yakko, turn on the black light. Nothing unusual there.
Gee, Pride, what do you want to do tonight?
The same thing we do every night, Pinky. Try to take over the
world.
The foam.
I am the Pegasus. I come bearing horrible tidings of war from the...
Yeah. Less talky, more flappy.
Okay, that's the one I think most people are going to have issues with. Because
who cares?
Which what? With what? With this?
Yeah.
I'm going to say something right now coming from the middle here. For everybody who freaks about every goddamn time they make fun of Trump, it shows the TDS comes from both sides, folks.
Yeah.
So
I
come
honestly
on,
think it's kind of funny. It just, like I said,
I didn't even think about it.
And they always made fun of the politicians in the old show.
Of course, remember all the funny you used to have in the newspaper with the presidents from.
Well, no, I mean Animaniacs always.
I know that. So I'm just saying, even with all presidents, though, you know what I'm saying? Well,
yeah.
I didn't even think about that till you mentioned it. When I watched it the first time, I kind of went right by this. I just kind of figured it out, and I was like, okay, I see what they're doing now. But yeah, whatever. You know they're gonna whatever.
Like you said, it's like I vaguely remember Animaniacs making fun of Clinton quite a bit.
Oh God, yes.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
He used to be in the fucking intro.
Well, he was in the intro. Bill Clinton played the sax. That was like their whole thing. But anyway, like I said, it depends on how it plays out. If like I said, if they go after both sides, I'm perfectly fine with
There's
that.
only one line in this entire trailer that made me cringe, and we'll get to it here.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's
we'll
I
get to
knew.
it.
I know what it is too.
I actually thought it was kind of funny though.
Yeah.
It goes back to what you said to Maj and I. Are they clowning identity politics,
Yeah.
or are they bracing it?
Yep.
We're animated, totally insane.
Never mansplaining.
Yeah, and that was the one line.
Yeah.
That was it. I figured I would be standing out to some people, but I really don't care as long as they keep it. It looks like they're keeping it the same kind of wacky, goofy, Animaniacs. As long as they keep it that way, I really don't care.
Right. I mean, she's always been the smarter of the three.
Yeah,
and-
no, absolutely. Yeah.
And
She's
the
always-
thing.
Go
Oh,
ahead.
sorry. Go ahead.
No, go ahead.
Now I was going to say that the one thing my sister always said when it came to Pinky and the Brain, Pinky's actually the smart one. She always says that. She's like, Pinky's actually the one who's the smart one, if you ever think about it. Because he's not the crazy one who keeps trying to do the same thing over and over again, expecting a different result.
Well, there's actually some big conspiracy theory out there on the interwebs, that famous fan theory that Pinky actually knows what Brain's up to and he does it on purpose.
Yeah. But anyway,
So, he's acting like an idiot on purpose to spoil him from actually taking over the
That's
world.
actually pretty different.
Yeah.
I never knew that one, but yeah.
other than those two things, I thought that, and even then, even with those two things, those are the things I'm cautious about. But even then, in the context of the trailer, I thought it was funny.
Yeah. It's better than that with that one cartoon. What's that one they put out now on the freaking? Who was it I was watching with the freaking girls who freaking have the Red Fox mascot from a different
Oh
world?
no.
That's bad.
That's terrible.
Super bad.
What one is
like
that
they literally fingered a fox. I'm like,
Yeah,
how's that even like? Who is that for?
What one are you talking about?
Okay, there's a show. I can't remember. I always forget the
It's
name
on
of it.
Sci-Fi or something. I think
It's on Sci-Fi. It's like Super Best Friend Girl Squad or something like that.
Oh,
Magic
okay.
Best Friend Girl Squad or something.
Dude,
Oh,
you
it's a
used
panda?
a clip of it. You used a clip of it in your freaking video today.
I did.
Oh my god. I was like, oh, dude. Actually, dude, one of your best videos ever. It's so good.
That's a terrible show.
I mean, it's like I watched it. And I was like, this is not funny.
That's like
funny.
with what was the one that came out earlier? Thundercats Raw. It's just like when people put stuff out and just make it like whatever. That's why I have faith in this because at least they kept it Animaniacs.
Yeah, I mean, there's
It's
a little
Animaniacs.
There's a bit of a sterile feeling to the animation because you can tell it is done by computers now, but their style is a little simplistic, I guess, compared to what it used to be. Because they did change the design a little bit.
Did they?
Just slightly.
Yeah, there's a little.
I gotta look at side to side comparison. I can't really tell.
It's been a long time.
It's
since I
very,
watched
very slight. And again, but other than that, I mean, it feels like, for the most part, from this trailer, and if you hit play with the rest of it, this is actually one of the giggles I got in it, because this is where it does kind of feel like the old school Animaniacs here, yeah.
The adoration pours
yeah.
in. Nerf!
Dude, that's perfect.
See, I mean, it actually has shit that makes you laugh. I mean, that's
well, and we also know these characters. As long as they keep them true to who they were, then we'll be fine. If we get a bunch of crap where they're changing them, like potentially like the story I shared in the private chat. I don't know if you saw it, comics or not, but
yeah, that's quite interesting, actually. I think that this is a pretty decent representation, given what we've seen time and again from reboots and everything else.
I don't think it's actually a reboot. It's actually a continuation. I mean, they say reboot at the beginning, but from the impression I got with the whole thing with the tablet is that they're getting caught up between I don't know. When was the last time? I guess it's been 20 years at this point.
I think so.
At least.
Yeah, something like that.
So what you got here, Tom?
Well, we could talk about this real quick because this actually on its surface sounds like a fucking dream come true. I mean, who wouldn't want an Addams Family produced by Tim Burton, right? Makes sense, right? Until you find out that it's from Wednesday Addams' point of view and it takes place in 2020.
Oh God!
Of course.
It was never about any one particular character's point of view.
Well, generally, it was almost every show is like Gomez coming up with some fucked up plan for something, and then that's kind of or not Gomez necessarily, but Fester, but
yeah. But move forward into the movies, right? And it was a lot more balanced storytelling in Addams.
Well, it was more about the family in itself, right?
Yeah. So, but what was bad about that?
Oh, what the movies?
That's the problem.
Or
nothing.
I don't think there's anything wrong. Honestly, I would say that Pugsley probably got less screen time in the original TV show than Wednesday,
and the movies too. In a way, he kind of almost because Wednesday does get pushed a little bit more up front in Addams Family values, but you also had Christina Ricci who knocked it out the fucking park in the first one. So they knew what she could do with it. And again, but those characters stayed absolutely 100% true to the original. That's why that movie worked. And the second one, even more so, is because you made sure those characters did not deviate one single bit from what the original, kind of conception was. And if you do kind of upgrade it into I haven't seen the new animated one. I haven't heard anything too bad about it though. So, but I mean, like I said, on its surface, you hear Tim Burton, Addams Family. God, that sounds like a match made in heaven, right? But I don't know about from Wednesday Addams' point of view. And what are they going to do? Try and make her a teenager or some shit?
Well, that's the thing I'm concerned about. Is it's as soon as current year identity politics, patriarchy makes it into the conversation, it's done. It's over with.
And this is going to be live action, folks. So if anybody's wondering, because I seen Cavatino Shea says cast Christina Ricci as the voice, I'd be all on board for that. Yeah. But I don't. Actually, what they should do is update it and have her play Morticia now. Really, what they should do.
She's a little short for Morticia, but
I don't care. She was just my crush as a kid, and now so.
Oh, dude, she's a gifted actress, especially back then as a child. Is amazing.
I will say this though. If you ever on Instagram and you see some of the nice Wednesday cosplayers, I'm just saying. I'm just saying.
For research.
Hang on, I gotta go Jeffrey tube in a second.
Hey, just make sure to keep your camera off. All right.
No, I gotta turn it on. That's the whole point.
All right, let me pull up the next.
Hopefully, this. I was kind of like, oh man.
Well, let me just drop two little pieces of Twiggy berries on the Animaniacs thing. Two things I'm disappointed about, and they're not the woke things. Number one, I'm disappointed that the animation isn't 100% true, like Tom mentioned. It's very close. It's really pretty good. Number two is that there's only 13 episodes.
Well, hopefully they're good 13 episodes.
No, sure. But I mean, I just, normally when you get presented with a television program, you get 20-something.
Well, their seasons kind of varied too. Let me see, because I'm getting a hold of them. Season 5 had 13, season 4 had 12, season 3 had 43. I don't know if that's right. I think
because that's syndicated numbers. That's the way that kind of shit works.
Season 2 had 12, and then I don't know if they broke it up by chapter, but they're saying season 1 has 160. But that's according to.
That's because it's syndicated. It was a syndicated show. That's why. Yeah. And I know Kenneth's right. All I got to do is mute, guys. So
I'm used to. I'm used to that kind of schedule, like Battlestar used to have, where there would be 21 episodes in a season.
Yeah. Okay, so I have some super chats I need to get to because some of them appeared beforehand. Crazy Cat Guy sent a super sticker for $3. It is a fox saying, How's it going? Yeah, okay.
It's not being fingered, is it?
No.
Oh, dear God.
No. It's like my hesitation is the fact that I'm blind and I have my contacts in, and of course, when you get old, you stop being able to see small print.
Well, evidently, any foxes come running around here, they get fingered from it sounding like. Really.
Well, it's actually a panda. It's a red panda. But anyway.
Pandas in the rain.
Pandas in the rain. Toxic Man Flu for $10. I think every time someone speaks tonight, we replace it with the sound of someone battling a horrible case of. Let me scroll over. All right, the backdoor trots.
Oh boy!
It would be just what the country needs right now. A laugh. Culture Casino also sent a $1.49 very phallic unicorn. It's already
very phallic.
Very phallic.
So Tox, you're just asking for a running fart track through the whole.
Yeah, that's basically it.
That would get kind of boring after like 2 seconds, I would think.
Yeah,
it would be that movie Ass from,
which is 2 hours.
Idiocracy. Ass. 2 hours of ass farting. He sends another $5 super chat for 5 American dingo dollars. Well, actually, I guess it's greenback dingo dollars. Never mind. For all you. It's American money. I don't know why I said dingo dollars, because I'm being dumb, I guess. Just watched a queer politician bring senility to the battle of wits. Bring on Rudy. Bring on Ruby Naked. Wait, don't. And then we have another 5 American greenbacks. Are they going to bring over the red panda? I have no idea. That's kind of frightening.
And ladies and gentlemen of the chat, we have hit 75 likes, and there you have it. The screensaver has been changed. I repeat.
There's no boobs or booty.
Oh, it will. Listen, it has to be YouTube friendly.
You need to learn how to treat women more like objects, like Drew up there.
look at my avatar. There you go.
Oh, it'll warm up. It has variations of it. Okay, so just be patient.
Come on, we've got a reputation to uphold here, guys.
As we are in the process of driving out all the female viewers.
No, we're not.
They like
Ladies,
that.
Listen, this is for the female gays too. I'm just saying.
Yeah,
the female gays like women too. That's why they're female gays. I mean.
All right, this next article
isn't that politically correct, or
I don't think it is, but it's fine. It's fine. This is was sent to me by Thundercats Ho, so I gotta give props to him. He said, if you need a good laugh, read this, and it's funny. It's funny and depressing at the same time, because this is serious, and as we all know, Sweden is really big on their feminism, and
I don't know why, but when you pulled this up, I had a really strange pain in my butthole.
I know, right?
Just like, no.
Real quick, let me get this. Oh, it jumped. Moira Kitty for $2. You guys rock. Well, thank you. You rock too, Moira. It was great hanging out with you the other night.
It's better than smoking rocks.
Yeah, better than smoking rocks. Swedish Left Party Chapter wants to make urinating while standing up illegal for men.
How are they going to enforce this stuff?
I don't fucking
They're going to
know.
follow me in and make sure?
I guess they will be removing
this
all
is
urinals.
Sweden, and if Stig's still here, he'll tell you how stupid these guys are.
Oh yes, Sweden's pretty dumb. Yeah, I mean, this is the same country that did shut down like all the major. They plowed the roads differently because they did a survey, and apparently women took more like different ways to work, more like bike paths and stuff like that. So they went and plowed the snow for them, and it caused such a major traffic jam that it basically shut the city down for like 3 days because of this. Yeah, it was dumb.
They're dumb.
I'm probably over exaggerating a little bit, but yeah, I mean, seriously, they did that, and it actually caused a lot of problems. And I think Sweden never did it again, but Sweden anyway. Male representative on Summerland County Council in Sweden should.
I just read that line. Sorry.
Which line?
You'll get to it.
Okay. Should sit rather than stand while urinating in office restrooms, according to a motion advanced by the local Left Party. And again, of course, this is coming from the Left Party. Known as the Socialist and Feminist Organization, the party claims that seated urination is more hygienic for men. Oh, really
No, it
now?
isn't.
That sounds like a load of shit to me.
It is.
It sounds like you're trying to force men to pee like women. That's all I'm saying. Yes. Yes, she is absolutely correct. Socialist and feminist.
Only pussies and drunks piss sitting down.
Says it all. Indeed.
Well, people who have to, but that don't count.
The practice decreases the likelihood of puddles and other unwanted residue from the stall.
They build characters. Shut the fuck up.
In addition to being better for men's health by more effectively emptying one's bladder, the local reported. That smells like bullshit to me. Of course, if they came out and said we want men to sit on toilets like women, you know that no one would agree to this.
Okay, time out. I need to address this because listen, anytime that you've ever had a job in the past, and we have all had those jobs back in the day when we were younger, working our way up, taking shitty jobs to get by. Listen, when you have to clean restrooms, you know, when you clean out a women's public bathroom, it is just as dirty, if not dirtier at times than the men's room.
Listen, I worked in Six Flags as a groundskeeper.
Okay.
I was the lead of the department. So it was times I had to go into the ladies' room. Listen, no disrespect to the ladies in there, but y'all could be nasty.
I've worked in enough places. I'll tell you right now.
When they have their goodie boxes.
I was just gonna say, I'll take some fucking piss on the floor over a bunch of fucking you know what kind of mess all over the fucking place any goddamn day.
Yeah,
and I ain't talking about poop.
The goodie boxes are a little crazy. I'm just saying.
Yeah.
You know, men can menstruate now too.
Oh God.
No, they can't.
No.
No, they can't.
No.
I find the word men straight very problematic.
Yeah.
Well,
and I think it needs to be changed.
It's very evident that it is the reason.
It's called a feminine cycle.
Your problem's actually with Latin, not necessarily.
When is that coming? I don't know. I'm sure they've already bitched about that, but they're probably fine with that being called that because it's like it's aptly named. We hate both equally, of course.
I will say this though.
No, they don't. It's the chicks that are like single and over 50 that they. You know what? I'm not going there. I'm gonna stop.
Nice, Steve.
I will say this though, as a young man who's grown up in New York City, right? I have seen women pee standing up. I've seen it happen.
Oh, I've seen it.
Yeah.
I've seen women winning. I'm from Wisconsin. I've seen women win pissing contests.
Yeah,
literal pissing contests.
Yeah.
Bro, I've seen. I can tell you stories of drunk chicks I've seen just like let it rip, standing up.
Yeah.
There
was one time I was going to school. I was on the G train line, and I'm sitting there. It was it wasn't rush hour or anything. I'm sitting on the bench, whatever, and then I just look to the side of me, and I see this lady. She looks side to side, just drops her pants, and just starts peeing on the freaking the beam. And I'm looking like, am I looking at that right? And she goes, "Oh, I'm sorry." Now, the thing, I didn't mind. She was kind of hot. I'm like, hey, I got to see a nice ass.
Right?
So, we have another special guest, Steve Kenobi.
Steve, what's
Well,
up?
I figured we needed a specialist on this since he knows so much about Swedes.
Yes,
he knows. He
resident
knows
Swede hater.
All I heard was I got to see a nice ass, and then I see a picture of Larry David.
Well, the funny thing is, I don't think that's actually Larry David. Yeah, I guess it is. No, it is Larry David.
No, it is. It's very bad.
It's Larry David.
Not known for his ass.
No.
No.
Oh, well, you got to go
He's
back
an
to the
old-
headline now, but that men
He's a
scatter
fit-
urine was my whole line I was laughing at before. Sorry, culture.
Oh,
Okay.
dude. No. It. Go ahead.
Oh, are you talking about that Swedish thing where they have to sit and pee?
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah, that's going to be. I mean, yeah, still have to shake it. So if you're sitting, you have to put your hand into
But
the
this
toilet.
is what they're talking about. This is the thing that's so funny because they're saying, according to this article, you don't have to shake it when you
What's
sit.
funny is how Stieg says it. He says it like it's already a thing. Like,
Yeah, I mean, imagine what if you're an African Swede and you have to do that? I mean, half your penis would be in the water. Yeah. Not hygienic at all.
Yeah.
Or if you're
Yeah.
a 90-year-old Swede, your nuts would be at the toilet too.
is there a lot of African Swedes, Stieg? I mean,
Some. There's a lot of we get a lot of immigrants and stuff in Scandinavia.
Yeah, you want to shake it, not stir it. You know what I mean? Anyway.
Yeah.
oh,
But this is funny. Not everyone agrees. Men scatter urine not so much during the actual urination as during the shake-off that follows. John Gamel, a professor at the... I can't believe fucking
what the
somebody...
fuck are you doing? Whipping it around like a goddamn helicopter or what?
Professor at the University of Louisville wrote, well... addressing the issue in 2009? What the actual fuck? As a result, forcing men to sit while emptying their bladder will serve little purpose since no man wants to shake himself while remaining seated on the toilet. Yeah, actually, I'm sorry. He agrees with you. Yes.
Socialist. Feminist.
Socialist. Yeah. Socialist Feminist Party.
Spin dry. Someone says it's spin dry.
Well, that's what you do, don't you?
Well, no, you tap that, it's ding ding, and then I got no problem. And
What if the guy has an erection though? That wouldn't work when you're
Then you're
sitting.
pissing in your face.
Yeah, you'd have to
That's like
shake it up.
40-year-old virgin. Remember that?
yeah, you'd have to lay down atop the toilet with his hip on the toilet hole and just There's so many problems with this.
Look, I'm in danger every time I sit on a toilet. You know what I mean? I mean,
Well, I hate to break it to you, toilet sharks aren't really a thing, culture. But
Whoa!
No.
I actually hold on. I actually did an article when the snake came in out of the toilet
a snake's a different story.
I was about to say that, yeah.
and came out and bit somebody's junk. Man, that's dangerous, there,
it's
man.
It's not okay. Yeah. So no, thank you. If I can limit that to just the opportunity to take care of the bowel issues, and I only have to lift my nuts up and keep other things out of the water when that's happening, then that's all I got to worry about. You know what I'm saying?
You know what would be fun though if they kind of reverse it, so you have to sit and pee, but you have to stand when you do number 2.
Oh, dude, it'd be like dropping bombs. Like, he'd be like,
Well, according to the squatty potty, I'm not even supposed to be sitting on doing that.
No. You're supposed to sit, but you have to elevate your feet. It's like a stool. You put your feet on so you can get everything out.
I know, but it's just going against this whole idea of sitting to begin with.
So
no, man. Just put your feet on the wall.
I've never been out of the country, but I've heard that there's like, if you go to certain countries, they actually have holes, like modern day holes.
Yeah,
and
they
it's
have
like
holes.
Flushes and everything like that. So I've never. How's that supposed to work if you're in a country like that? Like, are they gonna? You know what I'm saying? I don't know. How's that? If you.
How are you supposed to piss outside sitting? Squat.
And what if you're on one of those? What if you're on one of those trains in India where it's just a hole in the bottom of the train, and you're like, and that's it, and then that just like Is that can you then not sit because that shit's just gonna blow outside? I mean, what do you do? I mean, I don't understand. It's definitely not gonna. It's definitely not gonna work in any
explain
country
this to
other
us.
than
Why
Sweden.
are they so stupid over there?
Hang on, real quick. Got to address this. This is very important stuff here. Toilet snake versus trouser snake. I don't want to watch
that.
I'm pretty sure the toilet snake would win.
Yeah, toilet snake will win. Yeah.
It's got teeth.
Yeah,
that's about all you need. Now, Stieg, why are they so fucking stupid over there? Please explain this to me.
You know what? When I keep saying I hate Sweden and all that, there's a reason
I get it.
for it.
They're the Florida of the world, but I don't understand why.
They're retarded.
Yeah, they're ultra progressive, and they think they're not racist, but they kind of are.
Yeah, it's you wouldn't believe all the insanity I see from that country.
You should see like the Tim Pool documentary where he went over there.
I watched that one, and it's accurate, and it's gotten worse.
Enlighten me. I've never.
Well, last summer, one of the immigrants killed someone, right? And the police were chasing him, and he ran off into one of the ghettos. And the police weren't allowed to enter. They needed to talk to basically the leader and get permission to go in, and he didn't give permission, so they couldn't arrest the guy.
Wow. So it's kind of like it
sounds like some gangland shit. Yeah,
like Sin City type of stuff.
Yeah. The funny thing is that Sweden is trying to be ultra progressive, so they're letting all these immigrants in. But the issue is they didn't try to enculturate them in. So what they did is they just stuck them all in ghettos.
Yeah.
So it's like that's great. You're letting these people in, these refugees in, but you're sticking them in the corner and not doing anything to help them out or integrate them into society.
And what that does is create another problem, because
it creates a huge fucking problem.
What you do, what you're making is a basically, like you say, a underground city for the most part, where there's no law. Because if that guy if he killed somebody, the law is supposed to supersede ghettos or wherever you are. But if you have a place where people are not being able to be brought to justice, I'm like, come on, that's crazy talk.
Yeah, but they are so deathly afraid of being called racist. It's ridiculous.
I have a story about that. This is true. It was 2 years ago. A Swedish woman had gotten raped on a train, on a night train. Badly raped, and she refused to press charges because it would be racist to do so.
What?
Yeah, I'm not kidding. It happened.
Are you serious, bro?
Yes, that's how afraid they are of being called a racist.
Yeah, that is ridiculous.
Yeah, SJW gets raped. She doesn't press charges because that's racist.
What the fuck is happening?
Yeah,
that doesn't make any kind of sense at all.
No, it doesn't.
No,
it makes no sense. So that guy is free to rape someone else.
Jesus.
Well, they're working on that for in California.
That's unacceptable.
In a weird way, yeah, you're right. They are kind of working on that in California.
Yeah, of course they are.
Yeah, they're making it less rapey, and they're helping out with the child part of that too. So, and I don't want to go into that, but man.
Right.
So you can't. I'm not even gonna say it. Never mind. I'll go with the less. I'll go with the less of the worst things I was gonna say. I guess that makes sense why when Swedish people try to talk English, they sound the way they do. Hello, yes, I am from Sweden.
Yeah, it's to be fair though, in today's climate, if you criticize someone of a different ethnicity, it's very easy to say something that gets you the racist stamp, right?
Right.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So it's but
which actually means nothing now. But yeah.
Yeah,
it's overused. Like, when somebody, I remember growing up, and if somebody said, that person's racist, you like, okay, wow, that's crazy. Now that's thrown around so much. Like, I was telling my dad to say, I was talking to my dad earlier, and I said, they always sit there and say, and I'm gonna do the thing. I'm gonna tap into a little of the political stuff real quick.
Go for it.
They say that Trump's Istaphobe here and that, and I'm like, okay, let's just say he is, right? I haven't seen what, especially when the crazy thing, like, you see all the pictures, Don King, Mike Tyson, EPMD, all these people used to hang out with Donald Trump. Now all of a sudden he's racist now. But my thing is, okay, let's just say let's go by it. Let's say he's racist. Okay, I'd rather him be an upfront racist so I know where he stands,
right?
Rather than be somebody who, like, I don't know, Joe Biden, who was friends with somebody in the KKK. And nobody seems to be bringing that up.
Yeah, that was the thing.
Not just friends.
They talked about race during the debate tonight, and that's like one of the things it's like, dude, you should have brought that up. There's so many
know.
things you can nail him on. With the race.
They're sitting over here. They're breaking Chris Pratt's balls because he may be affiliated with whatever. But
No,
the
he
person
doesn't
that
break his balls because he belongs to this church, and this church.
but even
did some stuff.
almost every freaking like actual church doesn't. I mean, yeah, you have some churches that are, some churches that are kind of progressive, but if you're talking, mainstream like hardcore, religious people, that's not a thing. The playing for the same team isn't a thing in most religions. It's just not.
Right.
It's not.
No,
it's not. It's not a Christianity thing. It's an all religion thing. So let's put that to the side. But they're breaking this guy's balls for whatever reason.
Yeah.
And the guy they're trying to endorse is friends with. And again, you can't. That's like saying. Oh, he's guilty by association. So if you're saying Chris Pratt's guilty by association for going to the church he's going, so what about Biden? Being guilty by association. You know what I'm saying?
But Damaj and I, look, in 1977, he said that he didn't want to bus his kids into a racial jungle and vice versa. He didn't want, I mean, that's in 77. He's best friends, not friends, best friends, and considered the man his mentor, said as much. And eulogized the man who was the Grand Cyclops of the KKK.
Yeah,
I mean, it was vastly more serious than that.
Nobody brought up the late Senator Robert Byrd, who Biden and Pelosi and the Clinton family. So many people have run in circles with that guy up until his death, and of course they publicized his death as like one of the greatest tragedies. What a statesman who passed away. And Robert Byrd was a sitting member of the KKK. Of course they don't fess up to that.
Well, the thing too is that back in the 50s and 60s, we've had some very racist, open racist people in Congress, and all those people are gone now, except for Biden.
Well, Pelosi. Pelosi's like 160 years old too.
Well, no, she wasn't a part of that original Dixiecrat and whatnot.
She was pretty bad. God, dude. I mean, the Southern Bloc has existed since the 1800s, the turn of the century, when we moved into the 1900s. So it's just, the Southern Bloc Democrats, they were all incredibly racist. I have such a hard time with these people. And what's really funny is Biden came out of Delaware, dude, and he was still that racist.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the thing. Trump has never, ever been racist. The dude, Damaj and I, dude, you pointed it all out. There are hundreds of pictures of him with people of color, and nobody had ever accused him of being racist. It bothers me. I grew up in a world where my friends are my friends. There was no color involved. You know what I'm saying? And so the fact that the last 6 years I've heard a bunch of stuff that isn't something I experienced, that it wasn't my life experience. Now I know everywhere's different, and so I've always accepted that. But man, Damaj, you grew up in New York, man. I mean, you grew up in like the literal melting pot of the United States.
Yeah,
I
went to school in a mostly Latino school. I was like one of the few black kids in my school at the time. When I went to high school, it was different, but like from like pre-K all the way up to I want to say was that 8th grade was mostly Latino, and I never really. And mind you, my mom is super religious, so we went to the church and everything. So we had all different kinds of people. So I never was raised that way. And then what the crazy thing about it is the funny thing all about that. And I've told the story before, but as a kid, I always see. I was blessed enough to know 2 of my great grandmothers growing up, right? Mm-hmm. And my one great grandmother, my father's side, she had red hair and freckles, and I never questioned it, never whatever. But as I got older. And they said, Nana was, Irish. So I didn't even, growing up, you don't even know these things, right? You don't even think about it. And that's just, that's my Nana. You know what I'm saying? That's, that's how you view things, right? And it's just now, it's like we are so focused on race. It's like, we should be past that. Like, whenever you see like those, like even Star Trek, you know, and Star Trek, the original Star Trek, everything's
Yeah,
supposed
TOS.
to be. We're supposed to be aiming towards that. We should be aiming towards the stars, right?
We're supposed to be past all these like petty issues that we have now, right? And it's like that pisses me off that they bring it in.
They keep doing exactly, and I brought this up in one of my my shows last week. I said they caught on camera in the satellite camera of a black hole destroying a star, right? I said I want y'all people to understand the shit that's out there in the universe is what we should be worrying about. Not this petty stuff. There's things out there that will literally eradicate us, and we're worried about skin color.
Dumb shit. Yeah, melanin. We worry about the amount of melanin in somebody's skin.
I find so insane is like even amongst other minority groups, they will attack them for being light skinned, and they call it light skin privilege, and that is just so insane.
Yeah,
it's disgusting.
Oh,
yeah, it's disgusting.
I heard it once, like in my high school. I heard it once, because like some, you know, my family's like super mixed, so I'm technically, to some people they would say, "Oh, you're light skinned." That's what they tell me, and like I heard one dude growing up, and it was a black kid who said that, something about light skinned people, but it really doesn't happen that much, at least not physically. Like I didn't physically see it, you know what I'm saying? But you would hear about that more on media and TV and all that stuff. And speaking of that, I always liked KRS-One. KRS-One was one of my favorite hip hop artists, right? He's one of the reasons I started rapping. And it's a song, and I forget which song it was, but it's a line that he said, and this is going back, what he say, like early 90s. He even said this back then. He says, media wants you to think that no whites fought and died for civil rights.
Right.
Yeah. And that and that's something he said in the 90s. And it's like people don't listen to the wisdom from back then, and we're literally got people sitting there acting like, oh, if you're white or you go to church and you're this or that, but you're not looking at somebody's character. You know what I'm saying? You're not looking at the people who actually stood there and fought and died for civil rights also. They don't seem to make it. You know, that's how media is portraying it. Like you don't see that now, and it sucks. It really does. And real quick, before
the fact that we live in a world where we're pulling down statues of abolitionists, that is ridiculous.
Yeah. So here's the thing, real quick, and this is while I stop my rant a little bit. So today at my job, we're having like a pseudo. They were having like a pseudo Halloween thing. It's like a drive by, get your candy. So one of the girls had her son with her, right? And she's white, and her little son is there. He's dressed up as Monsters Inc. I said, "Oh, you look real nice." And I went over. He's like a little toddler, and I went down, because like me working in a theme park, they always tell you to always get yourself low to a child so they could seem like they could trust you or whatever. And I went down, and the first thing he did, he came, he ran, and gave me a hug.
Aww.
This is a kid I never met him. And I was like, and that to me it warmed my heart, because I'm like, that right there. That's what we need more of, because that kid doesn't see that I'm a black guy. He just seen that I was a nice guy. He came and he walked in.
Yeah, he doesn't know the difference.
You know, and this is from a guy, like I have my nieces have Japanese, my goddaughter's white. You know, I have nephews that's half white. So it really pisses me off when I see people always going, like when they say, "Oh, white male this, white male that." Like my goddaughter, who's white, just had a son, right? So I call him my little grandson. And I'm like, to me, he's gonna have to grow up and have somebody say, "Oh, you're white, you're this and that." You know what I'm saying? And that annoys me, thinking about what my godson's going to have to go through. Not to mention, you know, what my other nieces and nephews are going to do. So, like, on both sides, you're going to be hearing, it's still like, it's almost like I got to watch these kids grow up, and they're still talking about the same things they were talking about in the 50s about skin color. Like, these kids don't see that. You know, my little nephew,
and they're trying to introduce it now, which is insane.
Exactly. Like, my little nephew that's full black is gonna have to worry about people saying this or that about him, and my little godson this white is gonna be having people talk about. It's like, and they're both males, and they're both gonna have two different types of people coming after them. It's because we're still talking about race. It shouldn't be that.
Well, and on top of that, we get insane articles from like The Root saying black men are the white people of black people. It's like, what the fuck is wrong with you?
I heard that. I seen that article. What? I'm like, what? What are you talking about?
When I read it, I both laughed and cried at the same time. I laughed because what they're saying was so insane. I cried because of how it was the fact that people believe this shit.
Yeah.
But see, when you grow up, when you grow up playing sports, or you grow up in a theatrical background, you grow up with all this stuff. You have you don't have time for prejudices. All these people are your friends.
Mm-hmm.
You interact with them on a daily basis. There's none of that. All that shit's taught, and I was not taught any of that shit.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and I was taught I was taught to despise the human beings that felt that way about everybody else on this entire planet who's a human race. Mm-hmm. You have your own race, my friend, and that's fine. But I'm part of a bigger thing, man. Your thing, you can divide yourself into all these little things. I'm part of a way bigger thing, you know? Yeah. And I, you know, it's just, like I said, I mean, my dad would have kicked my ass if I'd have said anything stupid like that. Mm-hmm. I mean, he'd have flipped out if I was, but we even hinted that somebody was different than us and we would have got whooped up. So it's just, there just wasn't going to happen. Yeah. And it's just, but it would never would occur to us in the first place. I don't know, man. Shit just blows my mind. And
the funny thing too, I don't shy away from it. I have a background in anthropology, so whenever I go and I have to fill out job information, whenever they put race, I always put human. And there's this one time, I worked as a consultant for a bit. I was at a customer site. I had to fill out the documentation, and it was pretty funny. There's basically, I think there are two individuals in security. One was a white woman, the other one was a black woman. And she got to that. She's like, race human. And the black lady started laughing because she got it. But the white woman was having none of it. It was funny. And this was like, back in like 2014. Mm-hmm. But sure. It's just like, I hate that so much because we're all one fucking race.
Yeah, exactly.
And here's the problem. Okay, so we work so hard to remove all these dividing lines. But in every single piece of paperwork you fill out, you're filling out something that inserts automatic dividing lines.
Exactly.
So what the hell is that? There are only a handful of dividing lines in our lives that can mean anything. Just out of just out of being part of a civilization. What's your sex? You're male or female? Well, and I'm gonna piss off everybody in the world with that one. Yeah. But that's unfortunately biology. Yeah. Were you born male? Were you born female?
Oh, but biology is a social construct.
Bullshit. It's a science construct, and science is real, math is real. Suck it, for those of you who don't believe that shit.
But Generation X.
Dude.
Yeah. You know something, though? The white privilege is also becoming a social construct from the people who are upset about it.
Oh, it is absolutely.
If you look at Europe, right? Originally, the countries were white countries.
Yep.
In Romania, they couldn't vote until 1990 because they were under a dictatorship. So don't tell me that's not oppression. You know? And Eastern European countries have had it rough.
Where's Kate?
It's been oppression all over the place. So it's oppression, and all that happens everywhere. It just takes turns, right? I mean, Norway was bombed and invaded during World War II. The city I live in was bombed so badly there was only 2 houses left.
Damn.
And that's not privilege.
No.
And the funny thing, though, the Germans show up and they bomb Norway, right? And then 50 years later, I see an article in the news that German tourists are complaining because the roads in Norway have too many holes in them. And I was thinking, yeah, you shouldn't have bombed them then.
Wow.
Oh, man. But yeah, it's the thing I don't get. It's like I remember back in the 90s, we worked so hard to get past the whole race thing. And here we are, obviously it started, years ago. But here we are in 2020, and we're trying to bring this shit back. People are legitimately trying to bring back segregation, which is stupid.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you think back, honestly, and I've sat back and thought about this a little bit. Think how much money is manufactured and wasted on, programs to educate people in the proper thinking space of 2020.
Well, I think a lot of it is the fact that these people realize that they can make money off this shit.
This is a grand scam, man. It is a grand hustle on the way to dividing people and keeping them divided. It's a twofold purpose. Not only does it serve, the percentage of elites that want this shit to happen because of the grand plan, but it also serves to make a lot of people rich off of the fact that off of bullshit. Really, it's a scam.
Oh, absolutely.
And so many, and I am so happy to see so many, Black folks and Latinos, Latinas, and other minorities waking up and seeing, man, this is a scam. This is total, complete.
Well, the thing that I find so crazy is that Robin DiAngelo figured out how to make a lot of money by being racist.
Oh yeah, dude.
I don't even know who that is.
She's the one who coined white fragility, and she wrote a book about it, and it's like a bestseller right now, and it's making its way into HR departments.
And the people that came up with critical race theory.
Oh yeah, it's fucking crazy.
I'm gonna let y'all know a little story real quick. So like I said I grew up in Brooklyn. So my very first job, right? I worked with my best friend's dad. He owned Good Human Trucks, right? And the warehouse where they kept them was in Bay Ridge, was mostly Italian, Irish, area in Brooklyn, right? And I could tell you like this here, as a little black kid growing up in Brooklyn, nobody said anything crazy to me. Nobody don't like the people will, buy me food, took care of me and all the stuff like that. And I can say this is my own experience. So you can't say, oh, I'm speaking for everybody. As for my own experience, when I came out to visit my cousins one time in New Jersey, I had one time where a woman, it was a white lady, came out of her face and called me the N-word. One time in my whole life. Like somebody actually overtly came out and said something like that. So when you talk about a span, I'm going to be 44 in about 3 weeks. So in 44 years of my life, I had one person actually they might have said it behind my back, whatever, they could do whatever, but I'm talking about somebody came out their mouth and literally called me that word one time. So when you hear these people out there talk about, islamophobia is everywhere. You look everywhere. There are Nazis everywhere. I'm like, where? Yeah. Where are they at? Like,
under that bush over there.
Do you know that that's the people I know, the white people I know would actually punch probably, or I know when people say punch a Nazi, but like if there was somebody actually that, like, some of my friends would be the first people to probably would punch them. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So, and I'm talking about my white friends, right? So this whole concept that there's islamophobes everywhere, it's crazy. There probably exist some of them out there. It's probably never going to go away. But think about this here. Does it really seem like it would be a viable thing for you to come out and say, "Oh, I'm an actual Yahtzee," when everybody hates you? No, like you're everybody, like, oh, I'm all this, like Hell Hydra, like really, really, you want to go and do that for real?
Nobody likes that dude.
Yeah,
the funny thing is being that I'm 46 and when I grew up through the 80s and in the 90s, and listen, I was friends with I blended in. I was friends with people of all different backgrounds, and things were so much different. You could sit around and shoot the shit. You could tell horribly off-color jokes, and I would have like one of my black friends sitting next to me, or one of my Puerto Rican friends sitting next to me, or you'd be at a party and people just be trading off jokes like it's nothing, because when people are joking, there's context to it, and people didn't get offended like they do now. And the funny thing is nobody had a problem with the fact we all were very proud of our varied different backgrounds and heritage. And when you grow up with that, I'll never forget. There was a comedy routine, and I can't remember for the life of me if it was Chris Rock or if Dave Chappelle did it, but there was a comedy routine where they specifically said, people ain't racist, but prejudice will always be around. It's the motherfuckers are always prejudiced, and they are to a small degree because you have that pride in your actual heritage. You're going to be a little bit.
Prejudice even exists in the United States between states.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
But
that's the thing, man. Human beings will find their way of hating each other. I mean, it's just the way it is.
Next thing it goes into religion, and then
wait a minute. Wait.
Sports and all that shit.
Yeah, but I feel like we're conflating conflating prejudice with stereotypes. And there's a difference.
There is true. That's true. But going back to what Damaj and I was saying, though, just a moment ago, I actually heard something from an older black individual who I know, and I'm not going to say anything more than that because I don't want to dox the individual, but he said something kind of similar to what you were saying, Damaj and I, only in a different form. He's like, he feels like the problem, and this he told me this when the riots first started happening and shit. He's like, what you have basically an entire generation of young black people who were brought up and never experiencing true racism, and then but now you've had the media bombard you with for the last few years that you're doing nothing but living in a racist society. And everybody's racist and everything's racist. And I'm not sitting here, and he's like, obviously there is some systemic racism in certain situations, but he's like, for the most part, he goes, like you just said, he goes, I'm willing to bet most of these black men have never walked down the street and had somebody yell out, hey, N-word at them. And like you said, you've only heard it one time in your entire life to your face. To where he's like, back when I was younger, it was nothing to hear an old white man just rattle off the word, oh, hey, you little N-word, come here a minute, and whatever. And like, it was just nothing. But then he said, as he got older, it gradually things changed. And he's like, up until recent years, he's like, this is the first time ever I've started hearing this constant barrage of everything's racist. So like, and that's where I've gotten off on my little things. Like, I'm convinced that the fucking media created this entire fucking thing.
Yep.
Oh, and don't forget the academic side of it, Tom.
Between the media, between the political side of it, between the academia side of it, all that shit,
But that's because they created a whole slew of degrees in college because they had to justify, because everybody had to go to college, everybody had to get a degree, and everybody had to...
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, grievance studies, gender studies, a bunch of bullshit.
Well, gender studies is grievance studies.
Yeah, because
no, you're right. It's fucking the bullshit. What the hell is that called? It's humanities bullshit degrees they fucking created because they needed to generate more degrees to justify having a bunch of fucking people go to college.
And
now they got to create fake fucking jobs for those people.
Well, he went on and said, he's like, most of these young black people and other, people wouldn't know what it's like to walk into a restaurant and not be able to be served, or have to drink from a different water fountain, and he brought up the same points we do all the time, but now they're right back to like, oh no, black people should have their own separate water fountain. They deserve it. Yeah. Like it's a gift, but instead, no, all it's doing is segregating again.
It's a show.
No, I was gonna say, let's get to MarjieSmiles' point, and then I gotta get some super chats.
Okay, yeah, I was going to say that when you bring up that thing about the schools, that remind me of that one, or was it probably like late last year, where the girl was basically saying, "Oh, this is a what did she say? This is
black only area or black only library."
Yeah, that's what. I'm like,
yeah.
Are you freaking? Do you hear yourself right now? I always was I was just saying earlier. Says my great grandmother was mixed, right? So she was half Irish. So my great grandmother was full Irish, married to a black man, back in the 40s. That was illegal then.
Yes.
Like, people don't understand.
I was just going to say that.
That was illegal then. You could not do that if you wanted to, And I remember Jasmine Guy. She told a story about her mother, because her mother was white and her father was black, obviously, and the car had broke down. And her father was underneath fixing the car, and a white cop came over talking to her mother. Now, obviously, Jasmine looked very fair-skinned, so they didn't think anything about her. So the cop is over there just dropping M bombs and everything. You got to watch about for this, blah blah blah, and not knowing that her husband is black underneath the car fixing it, and he just stayed underneath there because he's listening, keeping his, being mindful. Because if he would have pulled up from that car, it would have been probably a wrap for him.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying. So that was actual racism back then. Actually,
shit to be afraid of.
That's when you gotta look again. Like I said, are there people out there? Like I always say this, and it's the truth. Are we out of the woods? No, I don't think we're out of the woods. But we are pretty. I can see the road from where we're standing. You know what I'm saying? I think if we just push a little bit further, we might be able to get out of this woods. But it's like we're looking at the road and say, oh no, we gotta go back. Let's go back to the woods over there. It seems that's what it seems like we're doing right now, and it's crazy. And just like you were saying, real quick, so you go to your super chats. Just like I was saying, like Harris once said, media wants people to think that no whites fought and died for civil rights. That line always stuck to me as a kid, and I'm seeing it now. That it's just like media is constantly making it like there was no actual real. I don't know. It just pisses me off. So
I agree, dude. I completely agree.
Divide and conquer.
And it makes me even crazier because Demontre and I, going back into the turn of the century, late 1800s, early 1900s, the man who wrote Mr. Johnson, the guy who wrote the quote unquote Black national anthem, was married to a white woman in the North.
Yeah,
and he wrote probably one of the most uniting songs you could possibly write, and instead of and it's mischaracterized now, and it bothers me because it was written as a hymn.
Yeah, they mischaracterize stuff that
There's lots of stuff that gets mischaracterized.
Yeah, they mischaracterize MLK quotes to support their position, even though they know their position is faulty to begin with.
They have a nasty habit of using it out of context. Okay, like I said, I need to get to these super chats because some of them I've already got off the board and I can't highlight them, so I gotta read some before we lose them again. So Crazy Cat Guy fight for 5 American greenbacks. I really stoked for this new season of Animaniacs. Stoked is what the kids are saying these days, isn't it? I hope I used it correctly. #boomer. Okay, now I can actually highlight some. So this is from the Gilkman for $4.99. Hail Comics Division and panel. Never stop doing what you're doing. People are hearing what you're saying. Yeah, I got some good people in tonight. Well, thank you, Gilkman. I think I got some good people in tonight as well.
Thanks, Thomas.
Hell the Gilkman. Thank you, Thomas. You're a good dude.
Okay, let me see who is next. Okay, we have Storyman Jack for $5 American dollars. A year today that I created George B.D. Lucas. Big Dick Lucas. Oh, okay, I got it.
Yeah, that's who he is.
Gail Simone attacks me and boosts my channel, monetizing her victimhood. Oh, dude, that's funny. She is
way to go, Storyman Jack.
Fucking insane.
Love that.
Oh, it was nuts, dude. If you follow any of those tweets he's talking about today, I mean, she went down the line of Fandom Menace people. I'm going, did you get a list? What's going on with you today?
Man, I heard her up in the speak to in the threads today, so I didn't even know what she did, but whatever.
Oh, she dumb. She went after Lorena Creel. She went after.
Are you
serious? Yeah, that's right. I did hear about that.
Fuck, that was dumb.
Matter of fact, that's I caught the tail end of it. I heard Lorena was saying I was waiting for her to call me a racist. I was dying for her to say it. I was dying for her to call me a racist. That's kind of like when they called just some guy racist. I'm like,
Mark Waid called him a white supremacist.
Yeah, exactly. He was like, he's like, really?
Have you seen this dude? Do you know this dude?
I haven't seen him, but I know him by his avatar.
Oh no. Oh yeah. Oh man, it's so funny. So funny.
Let me respond to Isha real quick. He can't make it tonight. Well, I'll just say, all good, dude. All good, man. Okay, Toxic Man Flu for another $5. I am actually more offended that Demaj is a Yankees fan. Talk about evil empire. let's go Mets.
Yeah.
And I did respond to him. I said I like all New York teams, but Yanks are my that's what I just like I like their avatar better. That's what makes it.
Fair enough.
What's really interesting is the only team in the World Series right now is from Brooklyn originally. The Dodgers.
Yeah.
That's kind of funny. Stormman Jack for another $5 super chat. Texas is better. Republic of Texas, just saying. LOL. I would agree, man. I think it would be great if Texas could succeed. There we go. Succeed and secede. Because we actually have our own industry, and I think we'd be fine.
Actually, you're one of the only states, or one of the few states, like 4 states that could operate independently.
Well, yeah, operate independently, but we actually cannot secede from the union. It's everyone likes to think. Everyone in Texas likes to think about that, but it's
I wouldn't want anybody to secede from the union anyway. I just think we just need to,
same here.
We just need to reel in some of these crazies. That's what we need to do. That's all we need.
No. I have other ideas, but I can't say them out loud.
Well, part
we can always do the EVS plan and use the trebuchet.
Part of the big issue is getting rid of the shit out of government, HR, and schools, and then I think we'll be fine. But yeah, Moira Kitty for another $2. Blazing Saddles did more for race relations than the government. Yeah. I have to agree with that.
Yeah. Dude, you nailed it, Moira. Yes, dude, she's on fire right now.
She is. Moira bringing it strong.
R-FAR for a 5 NZ bucks. After George Floyd was killed, it took 2 days for the cops responsible to be arrested. You should be patting yourselves on the back, not torching cities.
True.
What's interesting about that is, well, you know what? I don't want to get into that. That's a can of worms. We don't have time for it.
Exactly.
Toxic Man Flu for another $5. My youngest daughter married a first-gen guy from Thailand. My new granddaughter looks like Drew. And you think you have problems.
She cheated on her husband with Drew. That's what it means.
Well, I think it depends.
Drew, seriously, dude.
Look like Drew?
Hey, I'm sorry, man. You know, it's that new Asian X moniker that I'm going by because you know, it's like,
dude, that's where you just go. Don't hate the player, hate the game.
They got Latinx. We got Asian X.
All right, so this is the last one. We're all caught up. Storyman Jack for another $5. Thank you, sir. You super chatted way too much tonight, but I do appreciate it. She posted my video numbers like I should have 10,000 subs already. She failed at YouTube. Absolutely. I was about to bring that up. Posted my low numbers on a fledgling channel. Yeah, that's fucking hilarious because she absolutely failed at YouTube. And obviously, like the other pros who were bored during the lockdown when they had pencils down, couldn't do anything. So they started turning to YouTube, trying to build an audience, and they did it very poorly because they don't have the personality like EVS to be able to attract an audience and keep that audience. Nobody fucking wants to hear from Gail Simone.
It's too much work. She made 5 videos, dude. 5. She hasn't touched her channel in 7 months.
So
someone actually played that card against me too. Said my YouTube channel sucked because I didn't have many subs, and I'm like, yeah, that's the point.
It's like a lot of people. This is a hobby for me. Okay, this is not my job. This is something I do when I have time and I feel like doing it. It's like I enjoy it a lot. I wish I had more, time to do videos. But it's a hobby for me. It's like I'm not looking to get rich and famous off of YouTube. It's just something I enjoy doing. Mm-hmm. It's like it's not fun anymore. I'll do something else, I guess. I don't know.
There you go. So here's a perfect thing. So I was talking to my cousin, and she was saying like when she sees any like these stars. I don't know if I bring up the stars because you saying Gail Simone because she was in the thing. She's like, I don't want anything to do with them. She's like, if I want to see movie stars or TV stars, I'll go watch their interviews. I go on YouTube to see the people. And that's the thing that they're forgetting. A lot of these people who come there and they think, and that's YouTube's problem too. YouTube, you're paying attention. Now, this is somebody I'm getting, obviously this is anecdotal, but I'm telling you, this is probably like the feeling of most people out there. They don't want to see movie stars or TV stars on YouTube. It's called YouTube because they want to see natural people.
They want to see actual people.
Actual people
Yeah.
in a natural habitat. That's what they want to see. That's what makes YouTube YouTube. You think that you're powerful, but remember, there was a thing called MySpace back in the day. I don't know if you guys remember that. It was the junk back in the days, and now it's gone. You can fall. All empires fall if you make the wrong mistakes. Stick to the program. Make sure you take care of your content creators. Take care of your content creators and stop trying to dump on us. Seriously.
Yeah.
Well, and you're 100% right, Dimash, and I think YouTube loses the fact that they're built on the platform's built on real people, the people that make the actual content. I mean, you can have a flash in the pan superstar. I mean, a celebrity walks into the thing, but as I said in the video I did this week when Quibi, bit crap and died, and I think I actually launched that story right before it actually got published, at least mainstream. I can say this. I can say that the celebrity culture that Hollywood was built on is dead, and it has been for a while.
Yeah.
And I don't think it's going to come back, at least not anytime soon. And I think we're going to go back to an old studio system. I think Tom and I had this conversation not too long ago, didn't we?
About which
I
part?
was there too.
That celebrities pretty much vanished, and we're going to probably end up back with an old studio system at some point in the near future.
Yeah, I
Possibly.
think the cult of celebrity is basically dead at this point.
Well, yeah. I mean, we haven't had a real new movie star in a very long time. I mean, Willie B. Mayer was right when one of the few things he said that was right anyway, when he said that Will Smith is the last true movie star.
I agree, man. I think he is. Or was, or whatnot at this point. But the thing that's so awesome about YouTube in this community is I get to hang out with you fine folks. It's so crazy. I mean, when I started this channel, I honestly, I was going to give it a year. I figured if I don't get more than 100 subs in a year, I'll just call it quits. And here I am 3 years later. Other people have made it big. It's all good, man. I love hanging out with you folks. The people on the panel, the people in the chat. I met a lot of amazing people. It's like I met Gary because of my YouTube channel. Yeah. And it's like, people on completely different, I want to say different parts of the world, but it's like I'm in the middle of the United States and, he's on the West Coast. And it's like, two people met because of just fucking YouTube. Okay. Yeah. And became friends.
I actually physically met Gary, so even though it was for a short minute, but I actually met him. I met him in what was it? No, it wasn't.
New York?
It was Comic-Con.
Yeah, New York Comic-Con.
Yeah. And I got there late because I'm an idiot, but I still got I had met Jeremy. I had met him the previous year at Star Wars Celebration. So when I walked up to Jeremy, he knew exactly who I was. And then I met Gary and I met John F. Trent and a couple other guys that were there. And I'm really pissed at myself for missing the whole thing, but and it's all from YouTube. You know what I'm saying? Like when I went to Star Wars Celebration last year, that was my first time actually doing like a quote unquote business trip. I called it that because that's and
absolutely.
I went there and I met these people and I shook hands. It's almost like being a politician. Shaking hands, kissing babies. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. That's what and it just felt cool when I met EVS. And that's the thing that always pisses me off when I hear people say about, oh, he's an Istaphobe. Like, but where? Because if he was an Istaphobe, I don't think he would have bought me dinner. Right. I sat down and ate dinner with this guy. I'm one of I don't know if anybody, but I'm one of the few people, not bragging, but I've actually seen a picture of Andrea. All right, Mrs. EVS. I've seen a picture of her. Like he actually felt comfortable enough to show us a picture of Andrea. So it's. If this guy was such an Istaphobe, I'm like, I always go like, well, where is it? Can somebody look? Can he make some crazy jokes? Sure, everybody. Look, Eddie Murphy made some bad jokes back in the day too. I mean, come on, come on. So you know what I'm saying? Yeah. Let's be real. Jokes are jokes. It's not.
Yeah, exactly.
But that's the thing that pisses me off about it is the whole weaponizing of jokes. Jokes are racist now and all this stuff. It's like, no, man, stop. This jokes diffuse tension.
Exactly.
Well,
that's the reason why we have them.
Well, the funny thing is, like the fucking crazy Puritans that want to make like they make Eddie Murphy go on a fucking apology tour to apologize for doing Raw.
Yeah.
Fuck that. Those were some funny fucking jokes, man.
Exactly.
they're still funny. I don't give a shit what anybody says. He's like when he's talking about like the gay mafia's coming after him, and he's like, get out there playing at the airport, and all of a sudden a car full of them just coming up, woo, 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 and it's not a siren, it's just one on top of the car just going, woo, woo, pull over, pull over. And they start patting you down and shit.
I mean, yeah, it's just like a lot of garbage. I mean, you know, they want to sit there and wipe the slate clean of all the cultural icons that we've had.
No.
Look, might have finding them jeans, boy.
Yeah, that's like the one I always go to that you can't complete.
Yeah, I mean,
I want you to come on over here and
F
me up the ass.
I mean,
there you go.
I mean, Jesus, I wonder what the SJW Puritans think of fucking the Dice Man.
Well, this is the thing I find so funny about it is like, you know, growing up in the 80s, all the shit that I complained about was coming from the right. You know, the whole thing with like, oh, you know, Dungeons and Dragons is evil because of Satan. You know, rock music is evil because of Satan.
All the satanic panic and all that
the
stuff.
Satanic panic.
Yeah.
All the shit
but
I would be making fun of now if it was still going on would be coming from the right. But now the tables have turned.
Yeah.
And all the shit that I'm making fun of now is coming from the left because they're basically making the exact same arguments, but they're just different flavors.
Yeah, they sat there and switched the shells around. It's all they did.
Hey, hey, real quick, Dimanche and I, man, I know it's like 1 a.m. your time. If you need to jump off, it's cool. We'll have you on next week. I know you got to get up early. I guess he stepped away. I'll wait until he's back.
But you're exactly right about that, Tox, because if you think back to it, you know, when they had the congressional hearings. And you know, one of us guys will have to do a stream on those sometime because that was a fascinating thing with the hearings about heavy metal and stuff like that back in the 80s.
The PMRC,
the PMRC,
which actually came from the left.
It was from the left, and it became a bipartisan thing because a lot of the congressional wives and whatnot put that group together, you know, and it was led by surprise, Al Gore's wife.
Yep. Hey, Dimanche, man, I know it's like 1 a.m. your time, so if you need to jump off, by all means do so. But and I know you want to be on next week, so we will have you on again.
Yeah, I'll hang out for a few minutes. I'll stay until I finish my drink.
Okay. All right, good enough.
I have a question. What were we talking about? Because I actually had a point like 20 minutes ago, and I don't friggin' remember where we were.
I don't know, but I love that footage of D. Snyder just fucking ripping Al Gore apart.
Well, did you ever see the Tom? Did you ever see the Frank Zappa testimony?
Oh yeah, I was alive during that shit, dude. Yeah, I remember all that stuff. I mean, I've seen it all. I've seen it all.
Oh yeah.
Hang on a second, guys. Eric, I don't remember the name of the show with the red panda. I want to say it's like Magic Girls Best Friend Squad or something. It's the one that's
the
on
chat
Sci-Fi.
Yeah. Crazy lesbians finger red panda. Just look that up. It'd be good.
Actually, I think I might. I had to search for this shit the other day when I was trying to find stuff. I might actually have it still.
That's so great. The video today,
feel like you're searching Pornhub.
The boss lost her stuff, man, dude. Right in the office, man.
Which part did she laugh at? Just
the thing with the girls fingering the just like
where I just have the commentary where it's on the white screen.
Yeah, and then you're banging your cup, and she's like, and I'm like, dude, it's so great. And of course the office is quiet, and so they're like all peeking in her office, going.
No, I realized that it's like my stuff's been too serious lately, and I've been trying to get back to bringing some form of like comedy to my videos. Man. And I've been watching a lot of Armored Skeptic, and I really like the way he's been editing his videos lately. I was like, I should try something like that. And so I was like, I think I'm just gonna like have it where I'm just staring at the screen and just have like a thought bubble kind of thing where you just hear me talking, and I'm just like, yeah. I'm dead on the inside. But like I said, man, it's like right here, my forehead still hurts because of me banging the glass on my head.
Yeah, and the sound was perfect. Like, clink, clink.
Well, it's my chilling stones. It's my whiskey stones.
Right.
No, I mean that was like one of those videos. I was like, wow, that was fun to make. Because initially I was gonna make it the Tuesday, Monday, Tuesday, today's Thursday. Okay, so initially I was gonna make it Tuesday night, and I was like, nah, it's like I'm fucking tired. I'll just do it tomorrow. So I did, and that's why I was awake enough. I had enough energy. Despite having huge fucking bags in my eyes, I was like, oh man, it's like I gotta try some of this stuff I was doing. It was like, okay, I'm gonna add some stuff where I'm just looking at the screen and I'm just gonna narrate. And then I was like, and I downed my whiskey at one point because of this one thing, and I was just like, God damn, this is fucking stupid. I was like, oh, I gotta bang my head against this thing. I think next time I need to get like one of those like breakable glasses so I can just break it on my head.
Candy glass.
So I'm not gonna fucking glass myself, no, because
that might actually leave a mark. You'll be like what was that Tommy boy?
I had a red spot on my head for a while.
It's not right here. It's here or here. It got a pain right here.
Blood squirting out. I got a pain right here.
It's just a flesh wound.
It was
Adrian, who do you have on your avatar there? I can't really tell from here. Who's that on your avatar?
It's a wonderful Asian actress named Katrina Jade.
Okay. Does she do science work?
Yes.
Oh, okay. Okay. Cool.
Very scientific, very technical.
Excellent. Let me tell you something. Who I'm a new fan of. Speaking of Asian actresses, there is a cosplayer. She does. I know. You guys probably heard of the whole Izaki-chan wants to hang out. That whole little hubbub that was going on with that. So she actually does a very good cosplay of her because she's built like her, literally. And come to find out, she used to do science work back in the day. So I looked her up, for science. And I'm a new fan.
Oh, nice. Yeah.
All right,
you gotta hit me with that so I can look that up.
I did get some super chats real quick. So our very own Supreme Heretic for $2. I love and appreciate this community. I think we all do, man. This community is pretty awesome.
Well,
and I certainly appreciate the people that hang out with us during these streams.
Yeah, comics. I just want to say something. Listen, inspirational because no matter what content is on whose channel, no matter what our personal religious leanings, political leanings are, it doesn't matter. We've got actually true organic diversity right here going on in this community. This is the essence of what the world is actually about. And no matter what the cult of SJW says or anything else, right here, our audience and everybody out there that does content creating and everything else in this community, we understand that, listen, we stand for common sense. And at the end of the day, we are all our brother's keeper, and we get it. And that's what is great about this community. And again, I am so proud to be a member of it. And I'm so thankful for the friendships, both on and off stream that I've made. And when I say that you guys are extended family, it's definitely not fibbing. It's 100% truth. And I appreciate you.
Well, thank you, Drew.
I'm
glad you're on tonight. I know you've been going through a lot of shit recently. You're a pretty solid dude, man, and it's always awesome to have you here. Okay, folks. So the thing that everyone keeps asking about, I finally looked it up. I know Terminus S has been asking about it as well. Terminus S for $5. What the fuck's that cartoon with the fingering the red panda? I want to know what kind of high quality drugs were taken. Were the makers on? Okay, it is called Magical Girl Friendship Squad. It is. If you look it up, you'll find it on the Sci-Fi YouTube channel. They have the previous incarnations of it, along with what they're doing now. And one of the episodes or things I watched on it is apparently, and it just shows you how out of touch these creators are, because a lot of this shit is so fucking 2015.
Mhm.
It's basically a Pepe version of Trump as the villain of the show.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. An orange
Hey, Drew,
frog.
check the private chat.
Okay.
Okay.
No, that's for Drew. That's for Drew.
Okay.
Oh, right on. Thanks.
Yeah, I got you covered. Comics.
Oh, there
in
you
my-
go.
it's up there. There you go.
There you go. That's the show. Magical Girl Friendship Squad. It
What
is.
the super fuck am I looking at?
I
You know-
saw a clip of it, and it was awful. I wonder what is worse, that or Star Trek Lower Decks.
Well, the thing, yeah, it's like the fucking jokes don't land, and somebody actually made the joke with the finger of the asshole work. It's like, the Panicus said, something about touching the hole, and it's like the hole is in the chest or something. But before she turns around, they poke her in the butthole, and it's like it's like it could have. Yeah, it's like there has to be a setup and a payoff. It's not like the joke is not, oh, we're gonna go figure the thing's asshole.
Yeah.
It's like that's not funny. Fingering the asshole on accident is funny. What you're proposing is just gross.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think the worst
Put
one
your
of the,
fingers in me.
Yeah.
the worst one to me, I have not seen Lower Decks, and I'm not going to watch this one either. But I did watch just for the content, right? I did watch Thundercats Roar. That shit is the worst. That was an abomination. It was disrespectful to what Thundercats was, and that's why that's one of the one things I will say. Well, just to double back on the first topic. That's one thing I will say. At the very least, it seems like the Animaniacs is staying true to the Animaniacs, and that's why I will give them at least some props for. I'll look at the episodes. It looks like they have my attention, but Thundercats Roar by far to me was because it was not only the fact that it was shitty drawing and all that stuff like that. It's the fact that it was disrespecting the original Thundercats. That's what made it even worse. And they tried to play it off, and then they had that last episode where they were saying where Lionel was actually like our Lionel that we grew up with was basically validating that version of Lionel.
Well,
did you see that last episode? I didn't see it. I saw the clip of it. I saw the clip of it. I didn't watch that. I only watched the one episode to see how bad it was, and I couldn't do it anymore. But there was the very last episode of it. They had actually like the Lionel from the 80s come back and validate this version of the Thundercats, and I was like, "What the f, bro?" Like,
that's fucked up. Okay, I can't highlight this unfortunately because the chat's not coming in. But Phil McCrack is saying, "Bro, the stream's being shadow banned. This sucks, man." I'm not surprised because we talked about some stuff that YouTube doesn't like us talking about.
Yeah.
I love WLT's comment. He said, "I love G.I. Joe, Thundercats, and Mask." And the funny thing about G.I. Joe, and I was having a conversation with one of my buddies about this the other day. If they brought back like G.I. Joe animated now, it's what's funny about what worked in the original is, again, we talk about organic diversity. It had that naturally, but they would do some crazy shit now, like Duke would never be the leader of the team. Now you would have
you got to make it Scarlet.
They wouldn't even take her because she's white. So they would take somebody, some obscure person like Jinx or something. They'd make her the leader. And then, on top of it, they would have to make sure that they informed you that she was a lesbian. And, it would just be a hot mess. And of course, they would change the animation so it looks stupid as fuck.
Oh, my God. Yeah, you're right.
I want to piggyback on that real quick. And I'm glad you mentioned that about, actual diversity and the stuff that we grew up on. And I actually brought that up, too. Where if you look at one of my favorite movies back as a kid was The Last Dragon, Bruce Leroy, right?
Oh, dude, I love that
and
movie.
Shownuff's crew had white, black, they had Asians, they had men, they had women. That was when diversity was diversity for being just for the it had it. It was for the story. Nobody said anything about it, and then what really pisses me off when you see these people. Oh, we're doing diversity because we need to. You're late to the game. We was doing that back when you was in somebody's nutsack, okay? So don't sit there and tell me about you doing diversity now. Diversity was being done back in the day when it was actual diversity and nobody cared. That's how you do actual diversity.
That's the thing I think is so funny about it is back
They
then
won't acknowledge that
nobody
either.
fucking cared.
Mhm.
And now it's all about pushing that diversity. Hey, look at this room full of white women. Look at all this diversity. No, your room full of white women is not diverse.
Exactly.
Yeah,
Look at Black
at-
Panther. It's full of diversity. No, a movie with exclusively mainly black is not diverse.
That's not
There's
diverse.
nothing wrong with it. It's not diverse. Stop calling it diverse.
Well, you look at if like what Tamaj and I said, what's funny is like the cult of political correctness and SJW, they won't acknowledge that stuff, even though it's blatantly obvious that it was diverse and everything. They won't acknowledge it because it tears their narrative to tatters. They won't acknowledge that to save their lives. It's like it never happened. It never
Exactly.
happened.
Same thing when we talk about like strong female leads. You had Ripley, you had Sarah Connor.
I mean, they never give that credit.
Buffy the Vampire Slayer. I mean, look, I love Buffy. I actually went out and bought the entire series, Buffy and Angel. You know what I'm saying? Like, look, you can't tell me that there wasn't strong female leads out there that guys didn't like. I mean, one of my favorite shows I used to watch as a kid was The Bionic Woman. Hello,
love that show.
I mean, you can't. And by the way, speaking of Bionic Woman, I remember watching that as an adult. Man, she was just making out with everybody in that first episode. Did you ever see that first episode? Watch it again. She's basically kissing everybody in the mouth.
I mean, like the original 70s or the
the original one. The original one.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, she's basically kissing everybody in the mouth. I'm like, huh?
Lindsay Wagner,
Dana
man.
Scully as well. She was.
She was hot, man.
She was in more episodes than Mulder.
Yeah, Lindsay Wagner was a babe back then. Man.
Oh yeah, no doubt.
Yeah, if you think about it, Luke Skywalker, Han Solo, Lionel, and all those others that have been pissed on, it's the same as tearing down a statue, isn't it? Because they're icons.
Yeah. Oh yeah, exactly, Stig, and they knew going in the way that they could get to start drilling into people's heads was to take all of these cultural icons and use them and politicize them and use them as narrative vehicles. And that's what they did, because Hollywood got infiltrated by the stupid think, and then they just went and systematically took over every fandom, with quote unquote fans of that ilk. And they also, the people that got hired on the professional side said, okay, let's get to work. Let's go and just deconstruct all of this stuff and fill it with our agenda. And then that's why I'm so glad that we stand up and fight against that and call out the stupidity. Because, you can clearly make a side-by-side comparison and show like the stuff that's been rebooted now compared to what was in the original does not even come close most times to honoring the original IP that it is rebooted from. It is simply and totally a narrative vehicle. That's all it is.
And speaking of narrative vehicle, I think it's commentary time. So we went and we watched the Animaniacs. Let's watch the clip here. This is the clip I used in my video. If you guys haven't seen it, go watch it. This is funny because it's not funny.
Funny fun. Fun.
Funny. Yeah. All right, let's go.
Daisy, why is there a raccoon on our couch? I am not a raccoon. I have taken the form of a red panda. My species is in danger.
Get it? It's a panda. It looks like a raccoon. Ha.
Injured, much like your world.
Alex?
Yep, I hear it. Talking raccoon on our couch. Alex, Daisy, I've come to you with an important...
Even though it told them that it was a panda, they're still calling it a raccoon. Isn't that funny?
Wait a minute. Isn't it misgendered or misidentified? Aren't they? I thought these people were sensitive about misidentifying things.
Yeah.
Apparently not.
Did you microdose me without telling me again?
What's the phone number for animal control?
Put your fingers inside me and all.
Okay, so read the thing on our screen. NYC Animal Control. Throw your pets in the trash. Oh my God, that's so funny. So funny.
Well, and microdosing because drugs are funny. Accidentally drugging somebody else just fucking hysterical.
Shall be revealed.
What's happening?
The bud is sucking us in! I created this universe and everything in it. It is one of many universes created by myself and other beings like me. But some beings...
Anyway, it gets really boring.
That is the perfect allegory, though, for what exactly is going on, because, yeah, they did create their own fucking universe.
Young Ripa is right. Okay, the reason why they have to go and appropriate established properties is because this is the shit the SJWs come up with. And as you can see, folks, it's not fucking funny.
No.
Not at all.
That, and I think
SJWs can't create because in order to create, you have to be able to dream. But if you're too woke, you can't dream.
Yeah, and you can't make fun of other people too. You know, you can't make fun of yourself. You can't, because it's all about the cause. You live, breathe, die the cause. Nothing else matters.
You can't, and the same thing along with that too. You can't. They can't use their imagination, because using the imagination, right? You might, I don't know, offend somebody if you use your imagination. So you can't do that. You can't do that.
Imagination Land episodes of South Park.
Imagination.
Have you ever seen the Imagination Lands of South Park, Dimash?
I may have. I'm not sure.
Oh, they're really fucking good. Really fucking good.
Tom brought it for real.
Is that Chucky?
It looks like Chucky.
Of course it is. That's a good boy doll.
It's a good boy doll.
Good guy. I forgot. Good guy. I always think good boy. It's good.
It's a good boy. It's not a dog.
If they made something like that, if they made something like that for 2020, it would be like they wouldn't be Chucky. It would be Cucky.
Oh, they just did last year, a year before they made it. Remember?
Yeah. Oh, and by the way, Shellback's 100% right. Is this the butthole cut? I think that was
the butthole cut. Yeah, that's not from Cats. By the way, that by far was, to me. I said this. Cats was worse than the Last Jedi. I'm like, Last Jedi is my bar for bad. The Cats is really bad. And I want to see that for my people on my channel. So they never say I don't do anything for people. They say we want you to go see it and review it. And I went and seen that, and it was two people in there in the theater. It was me and a white lady, and I was like, wow, this is pretty bad. I know that lady's probably like, what is this black dude doing in here?
She's sitting there thinking that black boy's gay.
Probably. They were singing so much in that movie. Like, there was no dialogue to the movie. It's just like everything was singing, and I'm like, I fell asleep because my head was hurting. I said, okay, I'm trying to. Okay, they're gonna start talking at some point. They're gonna talk, right? And they're singing. I fell asleep. I woke up. They were singing again. I'm like, are you effing kidding me? It was ridiculous. I was like, I felt like freaking banging my head in the face with a freaking glass that day too. So.
All right, Stieg, I know you gotta take off, man. So if there's anything that you want to say as your parting words of wisdom.
Salt is not a spice, it's a mineral.
Very true. Thank you for that, Steve.
Nice.
Yeah, and I gotta make my way to sleep too. I gotta be up in like 3 hours. So
I know, man. Hey, I appreciate you coming on.
I've been loving this energy. Been keeping, like I said, I've been using the dark side for my hatred of retail. It's been giving me strength. So I just kept
racist.
Going. It's not racist if I do it.
well, at least
I will make it legal.
All right, real quick, since we're doing outros here for two of our guests, go ahead, Damajani. Tell the fine people of the audience where they can find you.
So you can find me on my channel. It's Damajani, DMAJINI. I do shows Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. My recorded shows. Tuesdays, The Dark Council. Saturdays, Spellbroken Live. And Sundays is Keepers of the Force with myself and Fatal J. We usually have guests on. I actually might have a guest this Saturday if she contacts me. We might actually have another guest there on Saturday and Sunday. I might have a very special guest for Sunday. But make sure you stay tuned for that. And other than that, I have a Teespring link. I have some stuff for the ladies up there. So the ladies want to be a Demogeni angel, I have some stuff for you there, and I also have some stuff for the guys there too. And like I said, see you Saturday if you want to see me again. And I will be here next Thursday too.
That's right.
Next Thursday I'll be able to stay the whole time. And I close that next day, so I won't have to freaking worry about having to get up early in the morning. I could just hang out with y'all. So
yeah,
that's basically it.
Awesome, man. Well, Demogeni, man, it's always a pleasure. Thanks for hanging out with us tonight.
Yeah,
thank you, man.
This is the first time I actually had it work out so that the Demogeni and I were on the same stream together, and we've been talking about forever catching up on the stream. So this was cool. It was cool being on the stream with you, bro.
Same here.
And Stieg, as always, man, it's a pleasure. I always appreciate your wit.
Oh, thank you.
Yes.
Yeah, thank you for having me on, and I had a good time. It was fun.
Nice.
Take care.
You're always welcome
Steve.
to here, Stieg.
Stieg, before you go, can you just say hello there? Just do it for me one time.
Hello there.
General Kenobi. Have a good one, guys.
Take care, guys.
See you guys later.
Take care, man.
Man. You guys are awesome.
All right, let's get some super chats real quick because I've been stacking up again. So, and I realized like a dumbass, I've been saying Terminus East when I mean to say Terminus Est. It's like, how can I forget that? That's Latin, like a fucking moron. Anyway, Terminus Est for $5. What the fuck was that cartoon with the fingering of the red panda? I want to know. Oh, that's right. I think I already read that. I want to know what kind of drugs, what kind of high quality drugs were the makers on? That's right. I already read that one.
They were on soy.
Yeah, most likely. Terminus S for another $5. If you are following me on my on MySpace, Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter, you are on my face. You twit.
Nice. That's great.
Talk to me for $2. Lino, the original Orange Man.
Truly.
All right. I think I'm caught up now for all the super chats. All right. I think it's time to go and make fun of Rudy Giuliani for a little bit here. So let me pull this article up. So there was the whole Borat thing. I don't know if you guys heard about this recently, and I kind of feel like people are making a bigger deal out of it than they should. And at the same time, I'm going to preface this with, if you are an unattractive man and a very attractive woman shows interest in you, it's typically because of one of three things. Okay, A, you've got a lot of money, you have a really big dick, and for some reason she knows, most likely not. Or three, she's using you for some reason. And this is really kind of the case with Rudy Giuliani because they released this picture, and he's got his hand in his pants. It's hard to tell what he's doing. It doesn't look like he's touching his dick. It just looks like, it does look like he's tucking his shirt in, but honestly, it's hard to tell. It's not in the Guardian post here, but a lot of people have been misconstruing what was going on. The article explains it rather well, but a lot of people are saying that he went into a hotel room knowing it was a 15-year-old, and that's actually not the case. So, let's go and jump into this article real quick. Rudy Giuliani faces questions after compromising scene in the new Borat film.
Try again.
Yeah. Let's. This is the thing I find so funny is that we see this going on, and when we compare it to the Jeffrey Toobin thing, I think there is a big difference between a dude showing up at a work meeting over Zoom, completely buck-ass naked and cranking it, not realizing that his coworkers can see him, and then showing up basically and being put into a gotcha moment. And the thing is, Rudy Giuliani's like, they didn't get me. It's like, no, dude, they fucking got you. It's like, let's be honest here. You got played, sir. You got played. Anyway, so let's read this article here. The reputation of Giuliani could be set for a further blow with the release of highly embarrassing footage in Sacha Baron Cohen's follow-up Borat. Okay, first off, It's definitely, yes, embarrassing. But it's a gotcha moment. He got duped, but it's nowhere near as bad as the Jeffrey Tubin stuff. All right. You guys want to comment on that?
I don't know. I think that's just stupid, and I don't know. I think that Sacha Baron Cohen is reaching. He's he's been fully into TDS for a while. So yeah, I think he's reaching for humor now, because it's beyond just the slapstick funny shit that he was doing before.
Well, he did this in the original Borat, where he would go up to people and it would be really awkward and weird. I mean, because you had this one Jewish lady who got really pissed off about the stuff that that he did to her. Yeah. And I never watched the Borat movie. I saw some stuff about it.
I thought it was hilarious.
I didn't find it funny, honestly.
Yeah. I liked the first one.
The first one was funny.
And as far as this whole thing goes, until I see the movie itself, I really don't want to comment too much.
Right.
Yeah, I don't have a frame of reference.
My issue with this is that the original Borat was definitely based off of exploiting people's ignorance. And that's the thing I didn't like about it, is that you're basically making fun of people by exploiting their ignorance. And to me, that's not funny. Anyway, and it's kind of the same thing here with what he does to Giuliani. In the film released on Friday, the former New York mayor and current personal attorney to Donald Trump is seen reaching into his trousers and apparently touching his genitals while reclining on a bed in the presence of the actor playing Borat's daughter, who is posing as a TV journalist. So in a nutshell, she was posing as a journalist that worked for a right-leaning outlet, and he was being interviewed. So his side of the story is that he was wearing a lavalier mic, complete with the pack, the transmitter, and he took it off, and he had to untuck his shirt to take the lavalier mic off. And the shot that they've been sharing is him actually tucking his shirt in. Don't know. It looks like it. You could be touching his junk too. Not really sure. It's obviously shot in such a way, and it was done using a hidden camera, that it's kind of hard to tell. Following in word, please. Obstitious. Obsequious. Okay.
Obsequious.
Yeah, I'm glad I'm not the only one who's having a problem with this word.
Obsequious.
For a fake conservative news program, the pair retreated to her, suggesting for a drink to the bedroom of a hotel suite, which is rigged with concealed cameras. After she removes his microphone, Giuliani 76 can be seen lying back on the bed, fiddling with his untucked shirt and reaching into his trousers. They are then interrupted by Borat running in saying, "She's 15. She's too old for you." So that's the joke. Okay, that's basically
not funny.
Yeah, what they were trying to set up. So that's the gotcha moment. Representatives of Giuliani have not replied to the Guardian's request for comment. Word of the incident first emerged on July 7th when Giuliani called New York police to report the intrusion of an unusually dressed man. Yeah. This guy comes running in wearing a crazy, what I would say was a pink transgender outfit. What? Okay, whatever, dude. Giuliani told the New York Post it was a pink bikini with lace underneath, a translucent mesh top, and it was absurd. That's fucking Sacha Baron Cohen, man. He has the beard, bare legs, and wasn't what I would call distinctly attractive.
Distractingly attractive.
Yeah, sorry, distractingly attractive. Yeah. This person comes in yelling and screaming, and I thought this must be a scam or a shakedown. So I reported it to the police. Then I ran away, Giuliani said. The police found no crime had been committed. Giuliani continued, I only later realized it must have been Sacha Baron Cohen. I thought about all the people he previously fooled, and I felt good about myself because he didn't get me. Yes, he did. I'm sorry, Giuliani. He did. Okay. You got suckered by an attractive woman. You went to her bedroom, and the trap was sprung. I'm sorry, man. Viewers may be less convinced that Baron Cohen reprising his role as the bumbling reporter Borat, I'm going to try and say the last name, and Maria Bakalova, who plays his daughter Tutar. Okay. Had no success. In the film, Borat is dispatched by the Kazakh government back to the U.S. to present a bribe to an ally of Donald Trump in order to ingratiate his country with the administration after the monkey earmarked for the gift is indisposed. Borat's supposedly underage offspring becomes the replacement present. Yeah. Sorry, guys, if my bot is getting a little too annoying. I'm still testing it out, so I can adjust it towards doing it every 30 minutes rather every 15 minutes. So sorry, Mondo, if it's getting kind of annoying. I'll take care of that. Even before he reaches into his trousers, Giuliani does not appear to acquit himself, especially impressively during the encounter. Flattered and flirtatious, he drinks scotch, coughs, fails to socially distance, and claims Trump's speedy action in the spring saved millions of Americans from dying of COVID. He also agrees, in theory at least, to eat a bat with his interviewer. Okay. Again, gonna have to go and see the movie for all this crap. Whatever. Giuliani has become a key figure in the late stages of the U.S. president election after obtaining a laptop hard drive purportedly belonging to Hunter Biden and left at a repair shop in Delaware. So this is kind of my thoughts. I don't think this news honestly would have dropped if it wasn't for the whole Biden thing going on right now. So my personal opinion on this, and I don't know what you guys' thoughts are, is that this is going to be used to try and discredit him in the whole thing that is going on with Hunter Biden. So I'm not sure what your thoughts are.
Well, they're desperate at this point because think about this. When Biden's been pressed on the authenticity of all this stuff, the emails, everything else, the Biden camp hasn't said shit. They haven't denied it. They haven't said, oh, it's not real or this or that. So I wouldn't be surprised if this is what they go to try to make it go away.
Hang on a second. I spent an hour calling chatbot a motherfucker. Yeah, sorry, dude. I went ahead and just disabled it for now, so that way it's not being annoying anymore. That's basically all there is to it. Now, this is the part I want to jump down to where it talks about the whole thing with the woman. Okay. Let's see if this is it. Okay, later on Twitter, Giuliani. No, that's not it. Okay. At no time before, during, or after the interview was okay, that's not either. Okay. So as with the first film, which made $262 million on a release in 2006, and won a Golden Globe for Baron Cohen, the most troubling scenes are those which revealed deep-seated prejudice amongst the American people. Baron Cohen, real-life broadsides against platforms he feels enabled anti-Semitism are echoed in the film, in which Borat learns through Facebook that the Holocaust was nothing but a fairy tale. He is corrected following a conversation with two elderly Jewish women, one of whom, Judith Dim Evans, died after filming at the age of 88. Last week, her estate filed suit against the filmmaker, claiming that she was horrified and upset upon learning the movie was actually a comedy intended to mock the Holocaust and Jewish culture. So yeah, going back to what I was talking about with the whole thing with him kind of like doing this shit to unsuspecting people, I'm not cool with that. Even like with the whole thing with YouTube where they do those prank videos. I never really liked that shit because especially like when you have those crazy clown videos where they're chasing after somebody.
Oh, the trap humor.
It's like, dude, what happens if you run into somebody who is concealing carrying and they fucking shoot your ass?
Well, yeah, that's gonna happen sometime with one of these fucking pranks. It's gonna go too far. Now, kind of not knowing the stuff when I watched Borat the first time, when the first movie was out, I thought it was funny. But now that we're reading up on this right now with the about Mrs. Evans dying and things like that,
here's the thing: is I'm not so sure I would say that Borat is anti-Semitic. It's kind of making fun of anti-Semites. And he did dedicate the movie to that lady too. So on that note, I get where like comics coming from. Like it's kind of like one of those types of humor. Depends on the situation, like a candid camera type of thing.
I'm not saying you can't make jokes about things like
no,
that.
but it's more like, okay, like here's the other thing though. I mean, if you're in a situation where that's the thing, if you've watched the movie, like you don't find it funny, fine. But I think it's a little extreme to compare like the idiots who are scaring people out of nowhere and people they don't know at all, like you said, and could face somebody shooting them, like with the whole clown or the Chucky thing they did and all that stuff.
It's similar but different.
As opposed to sitting there with somebody where they're being interviewed. And that's the thing, is they're on camera, and you had so many people when this first movie came out, they're like, oh, I didn't realize it was for this, that, or the other. It's like, yeah, but yeah, you still sat there and you said this shit on camera, hooked up to a mic, knowing full well, just because you thought it may not be seen in America was the only thing you were technically lied about, aside from the whole Borat situation, which, frankly, I mean, I honestly couldn't tell you what Sacha Baron Cohen looks and sounds like not in one of his characters at this point, because the only movie I've ever seen him in where he's not completely covered in something is that Sweeney Todd movie, and even there he's not talking, so he's singing through the whole thing. So
I didn't realize he was in that.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like I could never point him out to you if I saw him like in person, but I see his characters, I could tell you his characurs.
Right.
Like that's the thing, and that's like one of the jokes he makes in this trailer is like, everybody knows Borat so well that he had to go out in these other, forms of disguises, which kind of defeats the purpose of doing the whole Borat thing in a way. Mm-hmm. But I mean, sitting there and just discussing something with somebody and getting them to answer it, and whatever they fucking say, if they want, they're on, and they know they're on camera and on mic, that's on them. I mean, as opposed to where somebody is just scaring somebody out of nowhere, not just the whole getting shot. What if somebody has a heart condition, all these other things? That's a completely different thing if you ask me.
Well, to me, it's the setup. And when you're trying to make somebody look like a fool, that's kind of, Yeah,
well, and it's easy to do. Don't get me wrong.
You're right. It is easy to do. Especially, it's like, I'm not saying that the person being interviewed doesn't own a bit of it, but especially if it's being presented in good faith. And I understand that they're trying to get natural reactions out of people.
Look, well, let me put it this way as far as the whole like.
Movie.
Okay, let me put it this way as far as the whole Giuliani thing. I don't really give a fuck if he touched himself or not. That's not the part that I give a shit about. The only reason I want to see the movie itself is I want to see the context. Is if he knew he was going into a hotel room, whether or not she's 15 or not, doesn't matter. What she was presented as a 15-year-old, and if he knew she was 15 years old,
no. She was presented as being a news journalist.
Well, in that case, whatever.
Yeah,
in that case, fine,
but
whatever.
Everyone's saying that's the thing that we were talking about earlier in chat. Is that it's being misconstrued that he knew going into it that she was 15. And that's not the case. The butt of the joke is Borat comes busting through the door. I get
the butt of the joke, but that's what I'm saying is if he knows ahead of time, because I've read the breakdown of the scene and I get where it went, and he busted in because it seemed like it was getting too serious or whatever. Even if that's the case, whatever. She went into there with him. They were acting flirtatious with each other or whatever it said in the scene. Again, I have not seen the movie. I don't know the fucking context. But again, it all depends on if he knew her age going in there, whether or not she really is that age or not. To me, that's the main gotcha moment. And if that wasn't set up front, then it doesn't fucking matter. Mm-hmm. It really doesn't. Mm-hmm. Because, I don't even know if he's married at this point. I think he's divorced.
I was about to say the same thing. It's ultimately, I don't know if the dude's married.
He's not married.
I'm pretty sure he's divorced. Yeah.
I mean, like you said, if you're a 74-year-old dude and this hot 20-something looking woman is flirting with you, buyer beware. Okay.
I know it's bait. That's why.
Exactly.
Fuck that.
Fucking bait. You're being exploited for something, which is ultimately my point.
But the three reasons you extolled. I mean, money. What was the other one?
Big cock.
And the third one?
You're being played a fool. You're being used essentially.
Yeah, you're being used. Well, you can be used for a lot of reasons. Power. You can be used for any number of things. So it's, but I look at this and I go, okay, but to what extent did things go down? Doesn't sound like things went down very far.
Apparently nothing happened.
Yeah, exactly. And so, and honestly, if she pulled the mic off them and then he laid down on the bed to
he took the mic off.
Trousers.
He took the mic off, according to the story.
Oh, he did?
Yeah, but
okay, yeah.
Regardless, yeah.
Yeah. I haven't seen the context, and here's the thing. It didn't go far enough for me to know whether or not he was going to be creepy. Yeah. But it wasn't a great situation. Here's the thing. I'm an older dude. If a young lady tried to, first of all, the culture boss would chop my stuff off. But beyond that, if a younger chick were to approach me, I'd be like, you know what? No, this is not right. Not for 150 different other reasons, mostly because I have some self-worth, but also because, I would not have parts anymore, but mostly it just wouldn't be a good look. And so, he might have put himself in a compromising position that I would not find myself in, but again, I don't have enough information. It's not like, they caught me with pictures of, in Congress with a person I should not have been. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's kind of a nothing burger.
Well, yeah, and a lot of it too.
Well, I hear that, but at the same time, I also want to say, are we also being a little lenient in effect? Because if this was somebody on the Biden campaign, wouldn't we be raising a fuss about it?
I don't know.
The fact that some old dude fucking went in some hotel room with some young chick. Don't think that anybody be raising any eyebrows about that on the other side. You say that, but I see people in the chat who are raising up certain things, and I just got to keep everybody fucking real here. That's all I'm saying.
Here's like I said, my issue is that you have a guy on Zoom jerking off in front of his coworkers, not realizing it, and you have the media downplaying it. You have this situation which is completely different.
Yeah, but you also have a dude who really didn't hurt anybody either. He jerked off on camera. I'm not sticking up for him. Fucking dude's stupid. No, that's his own stupidity. He wasn't cheating with anybody though.
Yeah, he was.
Who? Himself? His hand?
No. They think that he was doing it for somebody else on another call. Because
without any proof, that's still like, again, it's between him and his fucking wife. And here you have a situation where, okay, he's going into a hotel room with a 20-some-year-old girl he's been flirtatious with. He's thinking he's either going to get laid or it's a hooker. Okay, and then he finally figures out way late into the situation that he's in over his head, and he calls the cops.
Yeah, like I said, Tom, I think throughout this article, I've been clowning him because I flat out said that he's acting a fool because you know he says that he didn't get played. It's like, dude, you got fucking played. Okay.
And I'm not defending him in any way.
I'm not defending what he did.
I don't, understand. And I'm, Tom, you know me. We had this conversation 2 days ago. I have no interest in canceling people, right? And if you set yourself up in a position of moral authority, then you are setting yourself up for a fall if you're caught in a compromising position. So don't misunderstand.
Yeah. And the other thing too, I want to point out there is something completely different between two consenting adults and then and then not consenting adults. The not consenting adult thing is the dude cranking on Zoom. Okay. There may have been a consenting adult on one of the screens watching him, but there was a bunch of people who were not. And this, like I said, the situations to me are different. I do think that Giuliani, he was set up to be made to look like a fool for this movie. And on top of that, for him to go and say, "Oh, I didn't get played," it's like bullshit. You got fucking played, dude.
Well, yeah, he totally got played. But here's the other bigger question: if this hadn't been a movie, how far would it have gone? I guess that's where everybody's like, "Oh, they're just letting it go because it was a setup and it was a movie."
Well, again, if he was under the impression it was two consenting adults, what do you do?
And again, I'm not here to kink shame anybody or anything like that. I'm just pointing out the obvious.
Yeah, and again, seriously, dude, if this was a member of the Biden campaign and do was set up, I would have a problem with it because that's not cool. And even like a lot of things, we all know. There's dirty politics going on. The whole Hunter Biden stuff, they've had this stuff for a while. It dropped right before the election. Dirty politics. The whole thing that happened to Trump during the 2016 election with was it Billy Bass or I grab him, women will let you grab him by the pussy comment. That was dirty politics too. I mean, unfortunately, that's just, I won't say the nature of politics in this country at the moment. But these October surprises are dropped by both sides. And
in this one we talked about in private, I think this is more of a coincidence just because the movie happened to get picked up and it comes out tomorrow.
It could be.
Because if it was really going to pick up any more track, it would have back when he actually made the phone call, but nobody knew the context then probably as far as like when he called the cops.
Mm-hmm.
Like now there's some context to this. And again, I want to see the movie before making any kind of final judgment. But again, am I surprised Giuliani went into a fucking hotel room with a 20-something-year-old girl? No.
No,
I mean, however you want to look at that, I mean, he's not the type of guy I see as a high moral authority at all, as far as that goes.
The other thing on top of that is like, to me,
he's been
the
through
Giuliani
3 wives,
we have
dude.
now is completely different from the mayor Giuliani that we got when he was mayor of New York. Yeah,
it's 3. He's been through 3 wives. That's all I got to say about that. So, it's not like that's the problem with men in power. Men and this is the problem with power in general. I mean, if you have a sense of absolute power in whatever field you're in, regardless if you're male or female,
I'm going to put it like misbehave. This from the perspective of somebody who's over the age of, or I'm 40, okay, and I'll tell you this right now. In the day and age of Weinstein and Me Too, I would have to actually second think doing anything, in public or doing anything in private with anybody, and
I agree,
who isn't that far outside of my age just because of the type of atmosphere it is anymore and how you can be judged in that respect.
Right.
I mean, again, and I'm not sitting here saying, oh, I don't want to be seen as that guy going through that midlife crisis. He got a 20-year-old girlfriend. No, I'm more worried about the optics of how people would see me. Now, of course, if I happen to fall in love with somebody, I can't deny that, whatever. But the chances that happen are pretty fucking slim. Because let's face it, that would be like dating somebody my kid's age almost. And that's just fucking weird.
Yeah,
you know,
weird.
it's-
Absolutely
yeah.
is. Well, and here's the thing. It's like, there's been plenty of times where you have 7-year-old dudes married to hot 20-year-old women, and we all know
it's an old joke. I mean, it's an old, like, how many times in the old movies do you have, like, the old rich dude with, like, this big bimbo, big boob bimbo,
The gold digger,
hanging around? Yeah.
Yeah, Anna something that married the super dude. Old
Anna Nicole Smith.
Thank you. Yeah.
Real quick, Terminus Est for $5. That's no red panda. That's an orange panda. You can't say that panda has candy. You can say that panda has a candy cornhole. There we go.
They're basically turning these cartoons into a bunch of homosexual fucking fantasies.
Of course they do. Yeah, because that's their thing. They like to espouse their immutables upon
I want my
everyone
butt poked.
Yeah.
Some chicks do. Yeah, you know what? I'm not going there.
Yeah, not so many.
Well, the funny thing is, so the was the black girl with the purple or blue hair. She's straight because she ends up hitting on a dude at the coffee shop, and the Asian one's the lesbian.
The women can always be straight. The men can't.
Yeah. Well, the funny thing too is that she makes a comment when they go into the coffee house. Is like, did you grind beans with all the baristas? And it's like, okay, let me get this straight. So it's fine if a woman objectifies another woman, but God forbid if a man does it.
Or if a woman objectifies a man.
Yeah.
See, that's the other thing.
Oh yeah, that was going to bring me to my next point, because that you can't have the straight male characters now. So the guy that the straight woman character falls in love with is always some ancillary character we never get to see, never gets to be anything more than 2-dimensional, but always sexy and fine and perfect. And yeah. Kind of like not Idris Elba in the new Star Trek Discovery season, if anybody knows what I'm talking about.
I have the video. I just haven't watched it yet.
No, you know what? It was strange. This newest episode wasn't that bad, but I think I'm kind of getting like Stockholm syndrome from the shit. At this
You
point.
probably are. Anyway,
it's getting to that point. Yeah. Anyway, back to this though. No, it is what it is. I want to see the movie for context. Do I think Sacha Baron Cohen set him up and tried to get him? Oh yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah. That's his job. I mean, that's what he does.
and not only that, do you think it's deceptive via the editing?
Yeah. Well,
I'll have to see it.
Yeah.
I do want to.
You know what editing looks like.
Exactly. I'll be able to tell certain things.
I do want to point out though that it's also like a PR failure that slipped through because of the fact that any interview request, especially if you're any sort of public figure, and you have like representation or a publicist, then that publicist needs to be fired.
Well, that's what they're trying to do right now. Is they're trying to get ahead of it. So it might be worse than we think, and that's what I'm saying. Because let me tell you this much.
I think if it was worse than we think, it would already be out in the media.
Well, here's the thing. It maybe not that bad, but it's a little worse than what we're thinking because of this. The people there was like at least a half a dozen people that tried to sue him the last movie. But that's the problem.
Cohen?
Yeah, but that's the problem is they all signed off on this shit. Like they knew what they said. They knew it was all on camera. They all signed on for it to be used. That's the problem they ran into when they went to court. Now, they almost thought they had a case because technically that he was kind of being deceptive with them. Mm-hmm. But I guess in the contracts later on that they signed, it wasn't deceptive at all. It flat out said what it was for and all that kind of crap.
Well, here's the thing. Did they sign the contracts after the fact or before?
Well, they had the first initial deal that when they come in and they presented it as this is an interview with so-and-so, blah, 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 blah. But when they actually sign on, because when you do these movies and all this
nobody
shit.
reads the contract, though.
You have to sign off on every little thing. Like your likeness can be used in this, and that, and the other, and you're being presented
I do know a little bit about it. I mean, I've done some film work. I've helped a friend of mine.
And that's their own fault, they didn't read it.
Hang on, let me finish. I helped a friend of mine film a music video, and we filmed it at a club, and we had a sign on the door for everyone to see that basically, if you're walking into this club, you may be on camera. You're not going to receive any kind of money for it. That was kind of it, and that was the acceptance. You by crossing the threshold, you accept responsibility, or you give consent to being on camera. I mean, there are instances where there is things like that.
No, my understanding is that they had to sign off complete waivers for the footage and everything.
Like I said, was this before they were filmed or after?
I believe it was after, because like I said, when they were first being filmed, it was being presented as this documentary deal, and they were being interviewed. And then following that, they actually, because I think they even made a point to where like there was this one guy who ran away from him. They had to track him down to get him to sign off or some shit. Like the whole thing. So like they were pretty upfront about most of it from what I could tell. And that was the whole thing, is all the cases got thrown out. From my recollection, I don't think anybody got anything out of it, because it was all pretty cut and dry. Yeah.
I'm not there. This is my own speculation, but let's be honest. Nobody fucking read the document.
Well,
right?
yeah,
they didn't know it was for a comedy. They thought it was for a documentary,
and that's what I say. And that's why I say it's a failure on, on Giuliani's publicist's side, because any interview request, they have to be vetted, verified, and that this person is indeed an employee of the outlet that they say that they're, interviewing you for. And if you can't go and find previous work by that person, then that, this is suspect.
Well, like Roof Corrine says, it's entrapment. Not really. It's a whole contracting deal. It's like how sometimes you see on certain shows where certain people's faces will be blurred out and others are. The reason their faces are blurred out is because they didn't sign off.
Yep.
I mean, that's why, for somebody like in our position, if you don't have, you're just a YouTuber or whatever, and you don't have like previous work, at least as a YouTuber, your previous work's out there, because anybody can refer back to your channel. Yep. So they know you are you. But, if I reach out to somebody in a professional capacity, I say, look, I want to interview you. I'm from foundingintocomics.com. They can go right there and see that, there is indeed an Andrew Taylor on staff, and I'm interviewing that person. I am who I say I am, and I would also expect that at arriving at whatever location is picked to do the interview, or if the person, is coming to my residence to do the interview, whatever, I would expect the person they're going to say is, can I see ID?
Yeah, Smallville CK says, did Giuliani sign off for it to be used? He probably did. He probably signed off thinking it was being an interview, which it probably was.
My point is, no, I'm thinking he did, because here's the thing. You guys got to remember, people get paid for these. And he was, at the time he did this, he was in some financial shit. Like, that's been well known. Like, that's when he butt dialed or whatever, and it got all over the fucking place that he was having some money issues and shit like that. So he probably signed off on it happily because he got a check. And that's the same thing with all these other fucking people. They got the check. Yeah. And then it wasn't until they got the blowback 6, 7, 8 months later that they got regret. And that was like the 4 or 5 people that tried suing him. Was like, one of them was the white supremacist guy or whatever, and a couple other guys, because there they are on fucking the big screens, saying this shit. And I'm sure that was really fucking like, oops. Well, you shouldn't have been saying it in the first place, you idiot. Yeah. That's the thing you got to remember, especially like on YouTube. I mean, I say a lot of stupid shit, but I do it on purpose. I know what I'm saying. And that's the whole thing. You have to be very well aware of what you're saying, what you're doing at all times.
Absolutely.
Same thing with the fucking tubing thing. That's his own fucking fault. You dumb shit. Pick a better time to crank one, man. I mean, I'm on so many streams every fucking day. Right? I have never had this situation where I'm like, you know what? Goddamn, I really got to crank one right now. Well, and just sat here and,
and I'm going to cut you off, because one of the things that some of the people that saw it, that said, is that he actually lowered the screen or the camera to show his dick.
Well, and I get it. He was probably talking to somebody else, like you guys said, and that's been a rumor. But again, we can't verify that until it's verifiable.
It's not confirmed, but that is the suspicion. Yeah.
If not, the dude is just a sick fuck, and he deserves to be fired if that's the case. And like I said, that's not canceling somebody. I mean, he can always get a job flipping burgers. I don't want him flipping my burgers, but I'm just saying, that's just the truth.
Well, here's the thing: it's like you got to be smart about this, folks. Okay, don't have cameras in your bedroom. Just saying. If you're gonna go and
say you got to go to the potty, man.
Yeah. Never
Well, the reason why is cyber sex. He was having cyber sex, but it's like don't do that shit in front of a camera. Don't have cyber sex. You never know who's recording this shit.
I actually need to ask several questions. Number one, they went into a separate room. The state of New York requires what kind of informed consent if you're going to be recorded in any format?
Oh, I guarantee you he covered his bases, especially after the first movie. Like, that's the thing. I got no question that Sasha got his shit covered because he didn't get in any trouble last time.
But I have to ask but I have to ask a question. So if you go from an area where you're being interviewed into a separate area, the recording equipment has been removed, or you're removing the recording equipment, you have an expectation of privacy. At what point does the informed consent law come into play? And what are in the state that
you have a problem here is he's basically just playing damage control because he could sue him.
No.
If he wanted to, if there was any kind of shenanigans in his part and his lawyers felt that way, all he's doing is sitting there. He's doing all he can do, and that is, it's being blown up out of context because which is fine, Tom. Which means he signed off on everything.
Yeah, but that's not even the point I'm making. It's fine. I will concede what you're saying. My question is, at what point does informed consent, is it relinquished? Because they try to get O'Keefe on this all the time with Project Veritas.
Yeah.
Right. Mm-hmm. And so you have to know the laws of the state in which you are doing some type of this gotcha kind of thing. And if you don't, you are liable for a whole lot that could end your entire career and pretty much eliminate your monetary gain in the future. So my question is, are those? And I understand, Tom, you're saying his bases were covered, but to what extent? Because again, you go from the area you're being interviewed to a different area. Those same rules don't apply any longer.
No, I get what you're saying, but here's the thing. He signed off on everything, and he already knows everything that could potentially be on camera, and that's why he's trying to get out ahead of it. And that's where I'm saying, like, if he felt like there was any grounds he had, this is Giuliani, for fuck's sake. Damn well.
Right. He's an attorney. So I'm thinking that what you're surmising is not nearly
Scott ends up mentioning that, but let's get these super chats real quick because it kind of adds this.
No, but to finish up, I get what you're saying, Culture. I just feel like Sasha probably has an army of fucking lawyers on this shit.
He probably does this go around, I'm sure.
And that's the thing. Before we get to that super chat, I just want to say this, Tom. We would not be seeing this film right now if Giuliani thought that it would be to the point that it would damage him, because now this shit would be tied up. You know what I'm saying?
I think it's more or less probably much to do about nothing on both ends.
Yeah.
I'll be honest with you.
Yeah.
That's why I'm like, I really want to wait for the context.
Which is why I was real surprised, because I was, I enjoyed the Schadenfreude when it came to Tubin, but I'm one of those dudes, and you remember very clearly, I'm reticent to do the cancel culture thing on him. If karma shows up, like I said before, I get it, but I don't like to cancel anybody. I think
it's different if Tubin says something on a hot mic and people were trying to get him canceled for that. I'm not for that. It's different when you do something insanely stupid by jerking off in front of a camera.
Yeah, except when it comes to certain things. Like I said, there are a handful of things.
He had a handful, all right, I guess. Well, maybe it wasn't much of a handful. I don't know. I didn't see, but
he was tucking in his shirt, Tom.
I was talking about Tubin, but
okay. So
he's got very small hands, Tom. You might be right. It could have been a handful for him.
WLT for $10 American. I love you guys. Just wanted to say thank you for the honesty and fun I haven't experienced this since being the chatty guy at the comic shop was ruined by the coof. Oh, dude, I'm sorry to hear that, man. I mean, that's the thing I kind of miss, is hanging out and talking to the guy at my comic shop.
Well, and I hate to be like the voice of like, oh, poor Tubin or anything like that. I'm not. I don't feel bad for him at all. Dumb shit made a bad fucking choice. And as far as the cancel thing, his family is already going to have to deal with a lot of fucking blowback because of this. I feel sorry for him if he has kids.
Yeah. Well,
Those poor
there's-
kids they
here-
got to deal with
it's-
and shit. They didn't ask for shit. That's his dad. That's their dad. I mean,
For
it's
me,
not them.
the way I describe it is how to end your career in one easy step. You know,
Well, especially in journalism or on television, that's
Yeah.
for sure.
honestly, in my opinion, this is no different from walking into the office, taking your pants off, and jerking it in front of your coworkers.
Oh yeah, I'm not arguing that point. I mean, it's
Yeah.
pretty fucking stupid.
Your ass is going to be fired. Okay, that has nothing to do with
No.
cancellation. Your
Dude
ass
was
is fired.
back on. No, dude was back on CNN tonight. They didn't do jack shit about it.
Well, no, he was fired from the New Yorker, and he was taking a break from CNN.
Not a
CNN
long
is-
enough break.
Yeah,
Yeah,
clearly.
I know they're total trash. I mean, Project Veritas revealed what they're all about, but it just, good God.
All right, let's get Scott's super chat. Sporking News podcast for $10. Insert funny Rudy joke here. It's too early to be funny. Rudy's a lawyer. If he thought it would have painted him in a bad light, he would never have signed anything.
Oh yeah, I mean,
Sure.
he knows what he's up to. I mean, this is just again.
I'm not too worried about this, and I want to say good morning, Scott. You're on your way to work, buddy. It's good to see you out there. Go do the
Poor
thing
guy.
you do. 'Cause,
Yeah.
Your job sucks, by the way, big time. Yeah.
Indeed.
No, but I had enough of the politics ball all night long. I tell you what.
All right, so
I blame
yeah.
Drew.
Comics, you wanna cover that thing real quick that I was talking about earlier?
Sure. What was the thing you were talking about earlier?
Let me go
Refresh my brain because I have forgotten.
Let me go and grab the tweets. The creative director of Google Stadia.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Yeah. So for people that didn't know, while I'm searching for these tweets, Google Stadia is, if anybody cares, because nobody pays attention to Google Stadia because it's like a shit service. I don't think anybody cares about Google Stadia, period. But this guy, Alex Hutchinson, that is the creative director at Google Stadia, he put out some fucking tweets today, and they were just absolutely full of stupidity. And we'll go ahead and go through these because I'm actually doing about into comics article about this. But I mean, I know that we have a lot of content creators in our audience. And we ourselves are content creators, and there's a lot of you that are game streamers, and I myself, I came up game streaming before I came to YouTube. I was a Twitch streamer, so I know all about that life. But the thing is that we're going to show here, and let me share my screen up real quick. The thing here is, this guy is just straight up dumb. I mean, I don't know that I would have tweeted this shit, and I just pulled up his regular account page here because we'll go ahead and show this because he made the situation worse. But here was the first tweet. He said, streamers worried about getting their content pulled because they used music they didn't pay for should be more worried by the fact that they're streaming games they didn't pay for as well. It's all gone as soon as publishers decide to enforce it.
Wait a second. I thought on Stadia they had to pay for the game.
Yeah, exactly.
In some form or fashion, somebody's getting their money, either because you're paying for the service or you're paying for the game to stream.
So
and my understanding was Stevia or whatever the fuck it is, Saccharin, you're paying for both the game and the service.
So then he goes on to say, the real truth is the streamers should be paying the developers and publishers of the games they stream. they should be buying a license like any real business and paying for the content they use.
Fuck off.
And so I mean it goes on in the replies. I mean, it was like a who's who of fucking streaming came out and just fucking blast this guy. Of course, Jacksepticeye came out and replied, and then fucking Dr. Disrespect retweeted this guy's tweet. We have XQC that replied to it. Mr. Beast replied to it. He said, Mr. Beast is great. Can I jump in and also ratio? Can we also ratio with my reply to my ratio attempts? Oh my God, it's great. But yeah, I mean, it's just this dude didn't have a clue. And so later, if that isn't bad enough, after he's been getting roasted all day, he comes out with a couple hours later, he goes, amazing to me that people are upset at someone saying that the creators of content should be allowed to make some of the money from other people using their content for profit.
You got your fucking money. You got your fucking money from people buying the game and then going and buying either the pass, the season pass, downloads, whatever. You guys got your fucking money. Okay.
Yeah. And then this is the final one. So he decides to go all in and says, anyway, gonna hop online and stream some Fall Guys. Who's up for it? What a fucking prick.
I think he was big and dick.
No, he was a giant ass hat. I mean, this is, again, Stadia is the biggest piece of garbage in the history of man.
Oh, yeah.
Well,
no one's fucking platform. Using it. They made a big deal out of it. It released and nobody's talking about it.
And he's the creative director for this. Yeah, so he's so clueless that it's pretty clear what the problem is here. He really, and Drew, dude, if you write this story, dude, I can't wait to read it. But it's one of those things where you go, this is the epic worst take in the history of man, because even in Ubisoft's, if you go to their freaking page, in fact, somebody actually puts it in one of these tweets. They actually have no problem with you streaming the games. In fact, they encourage it. The only thing you might be in trouble for is whatever YouTube marks as a like something that music that's owned by somebody else, but that's unlikely in a Ubisoft game because they produce their own audio.
Right.
So
on top of that too, the funny thing about this is that they can place the Stevia or Stevia or whatever the fuck it's called. I like calling it Stevia because it's the
it's like this artificial sweetener.
They could put it right next to the Google Glass. It's a dead.
Well, they
product.
already have. They already have. The thing's going to tank, and I own it. I have a Google Glass, enterprise level, and it's a piece of shit. And I mean, I jumped. I was an early adopter for every single piece of tech, and the last early piece of tech I got was a Google Glass.
Yeah,
because I was like, I'm not going to get my ass burned every time, and Google produces nothing but garbage. So many of their early products are toast. I mean, even their apps, their app marketplace. It's a bunch of crap that disappeared like within just 6 months, 8 months, 9 months. I mean, they just stink. Anyway, sorry. Go ahead.
Yeah. Well,
that's the thing too that they didn't take into consideration, even with like gigabit, or fiber, streaming games does take up a lot of bandwidth, and the idea of streaming a game like that that is probably going to have lag and whatnot. Latency as they call it, latency as the kids call it. It's you can't beat having a box hooked up to your TV and you're playing it. Playing it over the internet can be fun, but when you're streaming the entire game, though, it's a little bit different. And I get you're not streaming the entire game, but you're going to have a lot better performance when you actually have the console in the room that you're in. Or playing on the computer.
Well, he's just
because your latency.
Yeah, go ahead.
Go ahead, Drew.
Sorry.
No, go ahead.
I was just gonna say this guy was just insinuating though that you need a license to stream games in general. And he's not
so fucking stupid.
He's just not.
He's not smart.
People are not going to stream your games. Then they're going to either move on to something else. They're going to play a game that doesn't require a license. you're essentially, by doing that, you're killing your own fucking business.
Well, all I have to say about this is the only reason I know about this fucking game is because of all the people streaming it and shit, especially like Az and stuff like that.
Which
Yeah.
game? Fall Guys?
Yeah, Fall Guys.
Okay.
Yeah, so it's like, I mean, that's my whole point, is like, it's these guys that are bringing attention to it. Like, I had no clue what the fuck it is. I still have no clue what the fuck it is, other than, you know, all these guys play it now.
Well, even like Among Us, I mean, that game has been around for a while, and streamers made it popular, and they're making a bunch of money off of it right now.
Yeah, Among Us like went nuclear level blowing up at popularity because, you know, big streamers started streaming it. It started off as just, you know, like a pass the time type game, and like you know, big streamers started streaming it for chill streams, and then it's like, okay, it caught on, and now all of a sudden people are like having full on like stream nights of Among Us because, you know, it's blowing up, and you know, that is a direct result of basically just, you know, complete modern word of mouth, which is game streaming, you know, because you can take a game and start a phenomenon with it. If it, you know, if somebody happens to catch your stream, the game looks pretty cool. Guess what? That streamer is going to go and stream it on their channel. Then the next person that's watching their stream is going to say, hey, this game is pretty awesome. I'm going to try this and stream it on their channel. And then so on and so forth. And you know, the companies get a nice little boost off this, the developers.
Huge boost.
And you know, that's the ecosystem that's out there.
Right. That's the point, is they'll make a lot more off of those multiple game purchases than they ever will trying to monetize somebody else's game stream for a measly 10 fucking cents.
Oh, fuck yeah. You know, it's, I have like, for example, like, okay, like if you have a membership to something, like, let's say you have a membership to like EA Play or something like that. You have your pick of the litter of the full library of any, you know, EA game or associated game that it, you know, falls under that umbrella of whichever studios that work with EA ever. So, you know, you would sit there and, for example, like download the new Madden, you know, before release day and stream it. Fucking EA doesn't care if you stream it. They're happy because guess what? That is just going to generate more hype for that Madden coming out or something like that. Or let's say like you know, recently Star Wars Squadrons came out. There were the people like the EA Play people, for example, that got the game early access, and because EA Play gets it the earliest, that were streaming it on the night that it became available on EA Play. They went and the view numbers were insane. So you go look across Twitch at the big streamers that were playing it on that night, the view numbers were ridiculous. And it totally impacted and increased pre-sales for Star Wars Squadrons and exponentially, you know, move the hype meter up for that game, even though we know that it has some woke problems. Fucking hey, people went crazy for it because the multiplayer is amazing in that game, even though like the campaign's dog shit, but the multiplayer is amazing.
No, really? Is it that bad?
Yeah. Campaign is lackluster.
Two things. Number one, streaming is this generation or our generation's version of word of mouth for your fucking product, you dumbasses. And two, you always have overhead when you stream something. So just your distance to screen eats about 11 milliseconds on average. Your distance to in a Wi-Fi can be anywhere between 11 milliseconds in addition to that and several hundred milliseconds, right? Then you also have the overhead of transmission costs. And you also have overhead of actual render costs. So all of those overheads add up in milliseconds. They make your online performance, especially in like a shooter or something like that, even with predictive algorithms, total dog shit.
Yeah. And
So
any
it's never gonna be good.
FPS is not going to be
No.
You're going to be at the disadvantage if you're streaming it, rather than playing it on your own console, because there's certain traffic that will go over. And I don't know how the Stevia works. If you basically install the game there locally, and then it's like just sending just like the location data, or if you're streaming the entire game over the pipe.
Entire thing. It is rendered in a third. It's rendered in a third-party location. So so theoretically, that part of the overhead is taken care of. But then you have transmission overhead.
Yes, you do.
Right, and depending upon how
you
many
also have network latency, which is an issue.
Exactly. Yeah. So at each point, you have additional overhead or the loss of milliseconds. Right. So so depending upon how far you are away from your plant, your server, et cetera, you are ending up in a position where you could be anywhere between half a second behind and 1.5 seconds behind. In a first-person shooter game, you're toast.
Seconds count.
So it doesn't. Yeah, and it doesn't matter. I mean, it's just like real life. So our reaction time are based in tenths of a second. Okay, you add like an extra second and a half to that.
Well, there's nobody in their right mind is gonna stream something from Stadia. They're gonna bypass Stadia altogether. Like any streamer worth their salt that I know personally, all of my friends that still game stream, everybody goes and either downloads a game on Steam, or they have a subscription to something like EA Play, but there's always a physical download where the game files are installed on their local system, and they're streaming off that. Because if you go through the more connections you have to make, like you do with Stadia, like you were pointing out, Culture, the more latency you're going to create. So your experience is going to be garbage anyway, because your stream quality is going to be garbage too. That takes away from your stream quality as well. So
well, you're going to get in. This is the thing, Drew. You're going to get crystal clear, beautiful suck. That's what you're going to get. Yeah. It's going to look amazing, but you're going to get your ass kicked. And that's the problem with Stadia. And then even in your real time, even in non FPS shooter style games, like even in something like Skyrim, that latency still affects your play. I mean, your cast, your opportunity for bullet time, whatever game you're playing, it's going to be significantly different. Not maybe not enough that it might alter the results of your game, but it's going to be different.
Well, the funny conclusion to the story is that after this guy got his tweets ratioed like crazy, Google came out with a statement and said, this guy's opinions do not reflect the opinions of this company. blah, 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 the standard damage control statement, and people just got a huge laugh out of that. But yeah, this guy is completely off his rocker. Most gaming companies and publishers know that if you cut streamers out of the mix, then you're cutting off
your product is fucking toast.
You're cutting off your nose to spite your face, because in this day and age, people are going to first, before they purchase a game, are going to watch somebody stream it to make sure that, okay, I need to see some gameplay. I'm going to go watch a stream and see if I like this or it sort of lines up with my play style, or I want to see how hard that or easy this game is. So many different reasons. But if you take that streaming aspect away, forget it.
And one last thing I'll add to that, because, well, just real quick, Comics, I'm sorry. Okay. One last thing I'll add to that, because we talked about it on the Gaming Lounge today, which was earlier today. It feels like forever ago, and it might have been. But because this is the kind of stuff we talked about. And, think about the guy that is struggling with Red Dead Redemption and trying to get a particular achievement. Do you know where he goes? He goes to YouTube. Or his favorite streamer, to watch him accomplish the achievement. Or to look back at a video in Twitch that represents what it takes to get that thing done.
Yeah, when I was playing Sekiro, I was watching a lot of YouTube. I was watching a lot of good guides, because that's a fucking hard game, and it's giving people a lot of really good tips.
It is, and what's happened is the streamers have replaced the guides, right? We used to get game guides for those type of things. So I mean, you've changed something, but you've also made an industry in a way that will only support and advertise your game. And the other aspect that we talked about on the gaming lounge is something that I forget completely because we need to go to bed.
Okay, so real quick, because it's one of the headlining things I want to talk about. We'll talk about this for like 2 minutes, and then we'll call it done. Okay, so NPR apparently is not going to cover the whole Hunter Biden thing. So they released a statement. Why haven't you seen any stories from NPR about the New York Post Hunter Biden story? Read more in this week's newsletter, and they just have this one thing. It says, we don't want to waste our time on stories that are not really stories. It's like, what the fuck are you talking about? People were calling this another Russian hoax, and the FBI, the laptop has been sent to the FBI and whatnot, and they're saying this is not actual Russian interference. So to say that this is not a story is fucking bullshit.
No, well, NPR is now they are more of the opinion journalism versus fact journalism. They've gone into the shitter the same way as 99% of network news.
Yes, and I'm sorry, I'm not going to be able to get to the Dragonlance article. I'll cover it another time. Until and again, this is a shout out to the YouTubers that cover everyday news. A lot of you guys in the audience, that do stuff on your channels. You cover this stuff a lot of times outside of pop culture as well, and that's good because it's that type of guerrilla journalism that's going to keep the spirit of journalism alive. Because you have to remember, above and beyond, and I had this drilled into my head when I was going to broadcasting school. It is, the goal of, whether you're on the radio, whether you're on television, whether you're streaming to the internet, if you're going to report on something, if you're doing a broadcast of any sort, the goal is twofold purpose: to inform and to entertain your audience. And, you better be spot on with both of those. And if you're doing news, then, you keep it simple. You use the old, KISS idiom: keep it simple, stupid, stick to the facts. And that's what, sadly, what is lost now with, in the actual journalism industry. When we get into the big news networks and everything, there is no, reporting of the facts. It is just simply politicized. It is told on a slant. And that's why it is important for all of us that do independent journalism in some form or fashion to bring back that spirit where, we're actually informing people along with entertaining them, and that is so missing. And I want to make another point too, because I just want to make sure Tom knows, which he does. If this was Fox News refusing to run a story about Donald Trump Jr.'s laptop that had potentially incriminating evidence about the president, I want to fucking know about it. Yeah. This is stuff that we need to know, because this
this is just going to make them look stupid. Yeah, I mean, let's face it, if it's real and the FBI has it and it's true, well, then they'll arrest him, and it's going to look pretty bad on NPR and anybody else who tried to keep it down. Yeah. So, I mean, that's just the way it is. I mean, if there's no real story here, well, then fine, still run the story, but then you got to run both sides of it. You can't. Absolutely. In journalism, you can't just ignore the one and then expect the other one to be true.
Unfortunately, that's where we're at, though, with journalism, is that we have people intentionally ignoring the other side. And that's the thing that pisses me off, is because journalism has become about activism rather than reporting the facts and letting you make up your mind. Because
it is.
Yeah.
Well, now here's the problem that I have right now, and this is the thing that I have a problem if there is a government that is outside of the one that we all vote for, that is involved in
Like
making decisions.
Shadow government?
That is involved in making decisions in the departments that we rely on for getting us, actual justice. Because we're talking about justice, and a lot of people are right now. I would like actual justice. So if
are you talking about
laptop,
actual justice or bullshit social justice?
No. I'm talking about justice, actual justice. Then why has the FBI been sitting on this potentially explosive piece of information
for over a year?
For as long as they have.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Well, because we know the people aren't stupid. Most people around the world, we know that to a large degree, our world governments are corrupt, and it's up to us to kind of read between the lines and figure out what's truth or close to truth. It's got that game all the time where you have to really, really do your due diligence to find something akin to the truth, and that's because there's so many different psychological operations going on, so much different efforts to keep people in the dark or keep people divided, so you don't know which end is up half the time, and you have to do your own due diligence as a world citizen, so you understand what exactly is going on around you. Because truth be told, they're not going to tell you. They're only going to tell you what's convenient for them to have They are not going to tell you the full truth, and that is why it needs to be understood that people in the government agencies will go far beyond to keep information suppressed. Anything that essentially wakes people up is going to be discouraged and held down. It is not going to be shown, because the last thing that they want is independent thinking.
Yeah, and on top of that, and again, I'll point this out: the fact that this information is coming out now, again, it's dirty politics.
Sure.
The fact that it's coming out this late or this soon to the election, unfortunately, it's the way things are with our government. With our government, with the way campaigns are run. Hillary did the exact same thing to Trump with the Billy Bush interview, where he said, "Grab him by the pussy." The mistake she made is that she dropped it too far away from the election.
Yeah,
because by that time people forgot about it, and it's the reason why these breadcrumbs are being dropped
before the cash,
before the big payout. Which is supposed to be 10 days before
coming.
the election. It's like I said, it's dirty politics. Unfortunately, that's just the way things are with the way our elections are being handled these days.
Do you know how you defeat dirty politics?
Don't
have anything dirty in your past.
Yeah, well,
and don't.
Good luck with that. Everybody has a skeleton. It depends on how many skeletons you have, I guess.
Drop all of your skeletons before anybody else can, right at the beginning. Look, this is why everybody trusts. This is why a lot of people trust people on YouTube, because I'm going to tell you all my dirty secrets. You know why? Because I don't want you to find them out. Gary did the same thing. Everybody I know will tell you, this is the story of my life. These are the things that happened to me. I may not tell you my real name. I may not tell you those other stuff, but I'm going to tell you all of that, because someday you're going to know my real name. Someday you're going to know my life story. And you know what? I want to tell you that before you find it out. And the really cool thing about it all is this: it doesn't change who I am. Whereas when it comes to politics, your entire career at some point may actually be built all on lies, and somebody else's narrative telling of your life. That's not a good place to live in, man.
Yep.
I'd rather tell everybody else where I come from.
I'm too principled a person to go into politics. I could never hack it.
Yeah, it's it's a mess, right? And the fact now that American politics closely resembles wrestling, I find to be rather disconcerting. But I've dealt with it for 4 years at this point, and I guess I'm kind of numb to it.
Yeah.
I think because of Trump, I do think that politics in this country have forever been changed because of Trump. For better or worse, it's been forever changed.
I just want President Trump to cut a Ric Flair promo, and I will be complete.
Woo! No, here's the thing, and I probably just looked the boss up, and she's gonna be pissed. But look, so here's the deal. I don't have a problem with what Trump did. All he did was expose what politics has always been: professional wrestling. He just exposed it. He came out and he played the heel, and the heel won. In America, we often like the heel. The heel's often the underdog. The heel's often the one that will tell us the dirty truth. The baby face that's in the ring is just there to represent something pretty, and a pretty thing that doesn't actually exist in the real world. And so I honestly feel like, I'm comfortable with this dynamic at the moment. But you're right. Comics, it's been made more bold-faced than it ever has been before. I think you're right.
All right, so let me get these super chats and stickers, and then we'll call it a night. All right. According to Chrissy, for 99 cents, since a poop emoji.
It's a pooper sticker.
Jason C for $1.49 sends I'm pretty sure this is a very phallic unicorn. I got to double check. Oh, we get double phallic unicorns from Jason C for $1.49.
Jason C is the man.
Jason C is the man.
Jason.
He's gonna bring the herd.
Yes. And finally, last but not least, Moira Kitty is back for another $5 super chat. Orwell said, in a time of dissent, telling the truth is a revolutionary act. It certainly is.
He said it, Moira. He said it.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Brilliant.
All right. So let's go around the horn. We will start with you, Drew, since it's been a while.
Mm-hmm. Shout out to the elite for pointing out, you recognize my avatar. Yes, the beautiful Katrina Jade. But all right. So I am Drew Taylor. I write from boundingintocomics.com. You can read my stuff on boundingintocomics.com. I just told you guys what I'm writing, what I'm working on overnight. That article should be ready to edit for my boss in the AM, and I'm sure he'll put it out at some point tomorrow on the site. So be looking for that, because I will fully break down that debacle with the creative director of Google Stadia, because that was just too funny, as we covered. But besides that, if you haven't heard the news, because you probably haven't, because I haven't tweeted it out, but my compadre Culture Casino here and I are going to be bringing back the Pegasus Actual podcast on Thursdays on my channel. That starts next week on the 29th, and we will have the crew all there. Author Stephen Welton, Bear Nerd Fun. We're bringing back Raquel, and hopefully we can get Nerd Cookies in there with us, and we'll just have a big old panel. And of course, Script Dr. PhD will be there as well. So make sure if you enjoy Battlestar Galactica and things related to Battlestar, come check that out next Thursday. We're really looking forward to bringing that program back. So it's going to be fun, and I'm glad to bring it back. And again, just want to say thank you, and I appreciate and love y'all to the community.
Hey, man, welcome back. And we got some breaking news. Comics Division is dumbass. It was deceit in a time of deceit. I don't know what the fuck I said. I have no excuse.
You're fine, bro. You're fine, bro.
Yeah,
it's fine.
I have no excuses. Tom, tell us about yourself.
I'm a Gemini. I weigh about probably 350.
No, you don't.
About 5'9", 8, somewhere in there.
Will you wear the fishnets?
Sure.
Okay.
If you treat me right.
No, wait.
Take me out to dinner. Buy me flowers.
Will there, Tom? If people want to hook up with you, where can they find you on the internet?
Members only. Asses.
I heard that's a pretty
fans
hot.
only.
Oh,
fans only.
Fans only.
Fans only. Whatever. Clown porn.
Clown porn.
Members only is a jacket, dude.
Yeah, you're right. You're right. I need a jacket now. I want a members only jacket. Fucking A, right. Those were kick-ass jackets, yo.
We're
Members
being
only
mocked by
jacket
Carmen.
What?
She's laughing at us.
Who?
Carmen.
I'm laughing at us.
Why?
I'm laughing at all of us.
Yes.
You're not 350, butt nugget.
Oh, I probably am. You
A
think
members
No, you're not.
A members
I'm
only
kidding.
jacket and a man thong. That is like the best.
Now Carmen is rolling on the floor laughing.
Yep.
Okay. Well, I'm glad we're entertaining someone.
I'm a fat fuck.
You're not. Stop it. You know what? We need to talk about your self-esteem, Tom. I'm not okay with this. Anyway, hi everyone. I'm Culture Casino. I have a YouTube channel. Tomorrow, I'm going to do my best to not guess, or actually try to guess what I think is going to be on all of our favorite programs throughout the weekend. I like to try to guess and see what Friday Night Tights is going to say, what Doomcock might say on Friday Night Frolics, what might be said on The Dump on Saturday, which is actually preempted, so I guess that's not going to be on The Dump. I'm very excited to appear on a retro version of Shenanigans with my boy Stieg and the man right here with me, Tom, on Mary Mayhem's channel. This is going to be a retro Shenanigans. It's supposedly going to be very savage, and this might be the event of the day. I can't wait.
It'll probably get us all fucking canceled.
We are going to be so canceled at the end of this. It's not even going to be funny. In fact, the
Stieg is keeping it all under like fucking lock and key.
Yeah. It's going to be bad. It's going to be so bad. Can't wait for it though. And mostly, and then Sunday I do the culture review, and then I do a couple videos, and then
he was making all kinds of demands too. He's like, I want cocaine and 7 hookers, and he doesn't even do cocaine
or hookers.
Well, that I can't. I don't know. But anyway, sorry, culture. I'm just fucking with you because I got to interrupt you all the time.
I love you, man. No, but mostly, yeah, like I said, so Sunday I have the culture review. Other than that, I do a couple videos a week. I actually ended up doing 3 this week. Broke some great news. I broke 1,000 views on a video.
Damn, good job, man.
Nice. Well, no, I know, yeah. If it has to do with sports, I can get over 5,000 views. But if I cover pop culture, it's 1,000 views. But anyway, it was a really anyway. Quibby died. I knew Quibby died. I knew Quibby was going to die. I've been saying Quibby's going to die, and I told everybody it was going to die, and then I told everybody it was going to die before it died. Yeah, I'm roboting again. Give me a minute. Good God Almighty.
Poor Culture Casino.
Yeah.
All right. Am I better now? Do I sound?
Yeah,
do I sound
better.
human?
Yeah.
Better.
Okay. All right. So subscribe to Tom's OnlyFans. It's not very expensive. And you get to see 350-pound 5'8" dude like playing with Ninja Turtles. So apparently that's good. Otherwise, make sure you subscribe to everybody on this panel. Please support my good friends Moira Kitty and Wes Moody and Shellbach and Zevius and Supreme Heretic, who I love deeply, and many, many other people that are actually in our chat. I can't say enough good things about others. That's the problem with me.
And next week is gonna be the bomb, dude. I can't wait.
Oh, one last thing, and I suck. So I had this monetization celebration stream that I invited the guy that's hosting this. What's his name? Oh, Comics Division.
I have no fucking
I
clue.
invited Comics Division to show up. Yeah.
Who?
I invited Comics Division on. The guy that hosts this thing, the dude with the cool face,
dumbass,
the beard.
Yeah, he can't spell comics right.
No, the funniest video of the day, actually, that guy. Anyway, so I had this monetization stream, and one of the things, this is how bad I suck at self-promotion. I actually launched a merch. Shut up. I launched a merch store the same day on Teespring. Guess what I didn't talk about at all. So
Jeffrey Tubin?
I have merch. No, I did. I know, dude. I talked about Tubin. You and I talked about Tubin. That was fun. Andre talked about too, but Andre appeared on my channel on Tuesday, guys. That was like, I have had the biggest thrill of like anybody who has like been like gawking over these humans ever in their lifetime over the course of the last 3 or 4 months. It's been amazing. Anyway, I'm done promoting myself because I suck at it. I just want to say, according to Christy and Tom and I on Saturday, do an amazing movie stream that you have to show up to. And then we have an extra special one that nobody has sent me their list for Halloween that we're going to be compiling our 10 favorite, what do you call it? Horror movies. That's right. And we're going to do that on
Did we ever come up with
Halloween.
any? We never came up with any like.
This is Halloween. This is Halloween. Halloween.
Like, was there years
Halloween,
we could choose from, or
Halloween.
is it just all time?
No, whenever. Yeah, whip them out, dude.
Fuck's sake,
And
dude.
Halloween 3, Season of the Witch.
excuse me while I whip this out. Actually, I like that. 2 more days till Halloween, Halloween, Halloween. 2 more days till Halloween. Silver Shamrock.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that and then fucking head melts away in the mask.
Yeah.
Oh,
The
dude, I
bug.
freaking love it so much.
I actually like that movie.
Not horror movies, horror. Good
movies.
God. You know what? God,
Truth be
I
told,
quit. I'm going away now. You guys will. I love you all.
Anyway,
truth
so,
be told,
so
Halloween 3 is not bad. It was meant to be an anthology type of thing. They were trying to get away from the whole
Michael Myers.
thing, and I think it would have succeeded had they been able to do their full vision with it. But there were so many people that wanted the Michael Myers character back, and then we got all the weird sequels, the Cult of Thorn stuff.
So apparently the name that we were all looking for was Comic Section. Anyway, we've gone way over. I released a video today. If you haven't checked it out, please do so. I think it was probably some of my best editing work. Apparently, Culture Casino's wife started laughing in the middle of it, in the middle of work watching it.
Oh my God. So all the employees roll into her office and they're like going, "What are you laughing about?" And she's like, "Nothing, go away." It was really awesome.
All right. On that note, good night, folks.